ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken
Put your hand on the scanning screen and you'll go down in history with me.
As what? The world's greatest mass murderers?
You cowardly bastard! You're not the voice of the people. I am the voice of the people. The people speak through me, not you. It came to me while I slept, Sonny. My destiny. In the middle of the night, it came to me. I must get up now, right now, and fulfill my destiny. Now you put your goddamn hand on that scanning screen, or I'll hack it off and put it on for you. Do it!
May God forgive me.
Congratulations, General.
Complete the sequence, Mr. President.
My destiny. Thank you, Sonny. Let them come up.
This is not necessary, Mr. President. We have a diplomatic solution.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Secretary, the missiles are flying. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Now, this some bad weed.
Hi there, folks. Smoking more now, but getting high less? Try new Acapulco Gold filters, regular and menthol. Acapulco Gold, just a stony 3 hits longer. And be sure to save the groovy coupons on the back. How do you think I got this? Out-of-sight hash pipe. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to what Ashley Roachcliffe of the Jefferson Hair Pie has to say.
Hey, hey, that's right, man. You know, I really, man, the cat's really telling you where it's at, man. Nah, man. I'm gonna tell you, every time I lay some of this gold on my friends, man, they light it up, man, and they just take one toke, man. They look at me and say, Roach, this weed's a motherfucker, man.
Oh, now you can't say that in there. You know that's not you. That's not right.
Hey, man, what you want now? Good grammar or good taste?
All right, listen, we'll keep going. Remember, folks, it's Acapulco Gold, the herb superb, long in the leaf and short in the can. No stems, no seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is.
Now you're there.
I am here.
Barely.
And I'm riding in blindfolded. I'm 2 aspirin and a blindfold.
By the hair of my chinny chin chin. Chin chin.
Telling you, man.
Too sweet.
After the migraines, you can't see. So I'm going blind, but I can still hear and talk.
I can't see. Well, just keep your eyes closed. You don't want to see it. Believe me, it's a little too heinous, even for your eyes. My name's Jimmy. It's Revolution Radio. It's Independent Broadcast Network. We don't know where the hell Rio is, but he's somewhere, apparently. Hopefully. The alternative would be unimaginable. But anyway, Revolution Radio, don't forget, fully listener supported. Come on down, become those happy supporters. You know, once you support Revolution Radio, you just feel lighter and happier. You walk down the street, you got a spring in your step. Everybody's having a good day. Hi, how you doing? Feel good about it, you know. Why not? Step on in and become the supporters of free speech as the vehicles roll by the studio here. Stool pigeon. That's some funny shit. Kid Creole and the Coconuts. I'll have to throw that in here, Billy. Thanks for reminding me about that. So, Epic Journeyman, quite a day. And, you know, wow. That's all I can say. What is the feeling over on X? Because I know you cruise on X. There was a.
Oh no, it's freaking awful. Like,
Right.
so yeah, it's awful, man. Like the intensity is pretty bad. I was already suffering from an ocular migraine, so trying to read it was bad enough, right? And it's like, you know, it ranges a spectrum from you know, all out just, you know, disbelief, the fact we just surrendered our country to Russia and Putin. I mean, that's one side, right? And the other side is like, oh yeah, we're standing up to Zelensky, the little guy from Ukraine. What? I mean, all I could say is, no matter how you look at it, it looks freaking awful. There's no good way to interpret this. There's none. And our allies around the world that we used to have just given up on us.
Well,
Given up on us.
I mean, first of all, I've watched I've watched it 3 times. Okay, first time I watched nothing but Zelensky body language. You know, I was listening to what he had to say. First thing
Trying to stay composed, right? He's trying to stay composed.
First thing I noticed was, in respect to the situation and where he was dressed a little bit casual. And
Kind of like Elon Musk in the
little bit
Oval Office.
A little, yeah. But the thing is, you know, he's sort of in this. Elon Musk doesn't want nothing. You know, Elon Musk isn't.
Well, he's supposed to control the world. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah,
but I just mean he shows up in this casuals, and he has a trident on his. Is that the state
that's their symbol? That's the
yeah,
symbol of Ukraine.
That's what I look like. So this must be some sort of Ukrainian.
But he's worn that since the war started. I mean, that's his casual. That's his attire since the war started. His battle fatigues, if you will.
He just has a closet full of those. He just wakes up and puts that on.
He does actually. Yeah, he has like the green one, the black one, and the gray one. Pretty much. That's it. Yeah. No, it is. It's like remember how Happy Days. Some of our older listeners and watchers on YouTube will remember that in Happy Days, Fonzie, he opened up his closet. It was just, you know, T-shirts, right? He has his leather jacket. He's got all the same T-shirts, like, you know, lined up inside the closet.
You know what I'd like to see is little Damien come out and wipe a booger on the desk and give him a black MAGA hat. Now
little Damien is scaring the hell out of me. I don't know about you guys, but he is.
Seriously though, so maybe the wiping of the booger was him detecting that there were some listening devices in the desk. Because that was also good. They had to take the desk out because there was apparently listening devices in there. But I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, if you were, wouldn't you just assume, like, if the outgoing administration would bug the offices? I mean, wouldn't that just? I mean, remember when Bush was coming in? What did they took all the W's off all the keyboards in the.
Yeah, it was a prank though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a prank. But yeah, and I don't think I'm not agreeing with it. I don't think it's right. But that was kind of a harmless prank. Where if you're bugging the incoming administration, that's not a prank. That's just bad.
But it's
but you know what I always thought about was the movie with the actor nobody wants to hire anymore from the Spider-Man movies and the comedian nobody thinks is funny anymore.
I have no
where they
idea.
go the dictator or whatever about North Korea and they go to try to assassinate the guy and the way they're going to do it is the CIA sets him up, right, is they're going to shake hands. It's got this little patch on the guy's hand.
Yeah.
And when he shakes hands with Kim Jong-un, it's going to kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, like, well, actually, couldn't they just put that, you know, traditional letter in the, you know, the resolute desk, have that kind of poison on it? I mean, if they really wanted to, that's what they would do, right?
Man, there is some serious... Man, if you're going to decode the Super Bowl, I'm going to tell you right now, this 11-minute clip needs to be decoded, and we're going to decode it. Believe me. We're going to take a look at it in the second hour. I don't want to get caught up in it now, but I will say this. What kept going through my mind the whole moment I saw this whole J.D. Vance speech, like where he said, "Excuse me, can I say something?" And then he went into this whole thing. that, man, that just, I don't know, man. That just kind of rang of reality TV to me. This whole thing.
Well, setup.
And
It was scripted. It was scripted, right? Absolutely. That's what I thought too. It was scripted. That's what I thought exactly. Like it was a setup. It was scripted. That whole portion of that interchange, unbeknownst to it's like what was the show Catfish I never watched? Kind of same thing. Like they catfished Zelensky. They brought him in there. They had the script they're going to do. They set him up for it. They ambushed him, and they did that unbeknownst to him. Like that was already pre-planned because those obviously pre-scripted things they planned to say. Obviously, when I watched it, even with ocular migraine, I was like, dude, that was reality TV. Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question, and I'm not saying, I'm not excluding Zelensky from that reality TV. I mean, he's not in there all by himself. I mean, he's got property down in Florida. You know what I'm saying? I mean, him and Trump know each other outside of this situation. You know?
I would say that he didn't know this was happening to him, though. Like, I do get the feeling that was honest ambush sensation, like the Catfish shows or something like that.
See, we're getting into it now already, but I'll just say, I mean, to have, let's not pretend that those kind of conversations don't happen in closed doors behind situations. That kind of shit is going on all the time. People are saying that kind of stuff in these meetings over stuff that's going on. Right, but this is the first time you've ever actually got a camera inside the room while this is going on. Now, these guys whipped that guy on TV in front of everybody.
Well, not only that, wasn't everybody. The AP wasn't there, and Reuters wasn't there because they're barred from the room. The major main press agencies there are in the world, in America, in the free world anyway, were barred from that room. And TASS, the Soviet news agency, was there, or the former Soviet news, the Russian news agency, was there.
I saw people saying that he let TASS in there because they had threatened to somebody had threatened to assassinate Zelensky.
I think they just wanted the live stream on Russian TV.
Could be, but I mean, we're gonna listen to it, all right, and we're gonna check it out. We're gonna go through it, man. Believe me. Because there's plenty to go through there. And like I say, when I'm watching one of these videos, I'm not listening to what they're saying. I'm watching them. All right? And I'll watch.
Yeah, I still watched totally because of ocular migraine, right? I can't see. But I listened, and then I watched some what I could watch. And it looked set up to me. It did. It looked like that was like a pre-set up thing to ambush him there. It did. It really did. Just my take. But mind you, that's through the lens of an ocular migraine. So...
Well,
take that with a grain of salt.
That's what I mean. Is because he's in there by himself, and then all of a sudden here comes two people ganging up on him. And I'm not taking sides in this thing, man. All I'm doing is talk. It's funny because I was talking about this earlier with someone, and I was mentioning some things that I had noticed about it. And next thing I knew, I was in this fucking political argument with the person. Like because of what I was saying, I'm supporting Trump.
You're the bad guy all of a sudden, yeah, right.
I'm just saying, man. Look at.
I get you, man.
What I appreciate, however this plays out, what I appreciated about this was that it seemed like it seemed like you were present at a meeting that goes on behind closed doors all the time, and now you're just seeing it, like it's transparent. Like this is how, look at. Trump is president of the United States of America, man. He's sitting there, regardless of what you think. He's president of the United States. There he is. He can sit there, and he's sitting there scolding that dude like he's, it's like you don't got the cards, man. You don't have the cards. You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Because he thinks like a mobster, right?
That's the
impression I got. He thinks like a gang boss, a mob boss. Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you right now. What triggered Trump? I'm going to tell you the statement that triggered Trump. It was when Zelensky said, we've been over there going through this war, and you're over here protected by the ocean, and you don't experience it, he said, but you're going to experience, but you will, exactly. And then that's when Trump said, what? We will? No, and then that's when he went off.
Well, because it's a callback to World War II, right? Because we had isolationism prior to World War II.
It was a veiled,
and that's what happens. We got drawn into the war. It's just a
it's a
callback to
veiled
World War
threat.
II.
No, it's a veiled threat that there's something
No,
coming to our
That's
shores.
not what he meant. I didn't get that impression that it was meant
Well,
intended
that's
at all.
what Trump thought he meant.
No, I get that because he's stupid, but but that's not what he meant. You know, I mean, because he's impulsive. That's a better word. He's impulsive, not necessarily stupid. He's impulsive, right? So he got triggered, you know, and I thought that he had a better choice of words, but you got to consider that Zelensky, that's his third language. It's not his first language. These guys are talking in their first language, English. They don't know other languages because they're stupid. They are stupid in that sense, right? To either one of those guys speaking another language? No, they don't, right? So, you know, maybe give a little credit to guys speaking his third language is all I could say.
Well,
it's a little different.
No matter how you slice that, man, that was not meant for the public eye. You know.
Well, see, I don't know. I think that on the part of Trump in advance, it was meant for the public eye. They ambushed him. I thought that was a deliberate ambush. They had that scripted. Like they already intended to attack him that way because they intended to go inside with Russia.
In a normal world, that kind of conversation isn't for public consumption. So the thing is that usually goes on behind closed doors.
In a normal world, it's not a normal world.
No, it's not. Because now we're on reality TV 24/7. He was getting a reality TV deal if he didn't make it the president the first time. He was going to go back, and then I think there was even talk of him doing a reality TV something when he was running for president. Like there may be something that was filmed the whole time, come out later. I don't know, but the point is, man, this had a reality TV kind of feel to it, man. Especially the J.D. Vance. I don't know if you guys ever watch these shows that are on here, that are on reality TV, like Survivor and Big Brother and all this. You know, there's stuff that goes on in there, and you know, we're a month into this new world order, and Trump is trying to establish a position of sovereignty. Wouldn't you say? America's going to be standing alone here in a pretty minute, right? In a minute. People don't make moves unless for whatever reason they got their shit together. And for some reason, this thing is now taking on this whole life of its own. Now, Zelensky went on to Fox News, right? And I didn't hear what he had to say over there. Did you hear anything?
No, I haven't heard it yet either. I was trying to recuperate from the migraine here.
All right.
Yeah, no, I wanted to. I tried to look it up a little bit, and you know, Fox News has their live stream, and other networks can't, and YouTube can't show it till afterwards. So you have to like wait for it to show up and spawn, you know, till you can watch it. So I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Let's move on. So listen. Last week, if you weren't here and you didn't hear the show, we did a show about the mind, body, and thing internet, and over the past week. Minds being controlled by the internet all of a sudden and by frequencies has become like the major topic across the planet for some reason. Literally, it's literally literally the next day after we did that show, the next day, there's literally I got 20 links here from X about specific pieces of technology that are used for exactly what we were talking about on the show. So, I mean, I find it a bit mind-blowing all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying, Epic? I think
I'm all caught up in chat. No, I missed that part. Sorry.
No, I was just...
I can't read. It's all double vision to me right now. so
yeah.
I'm trying to read the chat.
No, I just was saying that, the interlocking of human beings via their brains that we talked about last week on the show become a big subject matter this week. Lots of shows have been talking about similar subjects. Clyde Lewis talked about...
Because it's the most obvious thing on the planet. Yeah, exactly. Once we're talking about it because it's apparent. That's what I mean. It's not that... You know, it's not that hidden once you know. Once you know, anybody can glom onto it, right? I mean, it's there. It's been there this whole time. And once you see it, you can't not see it anymore, right? It's obvious this is what it is. And what the plan is, of course, is to get people sucked in, right? It's about attention. Maybe the term, you could talk about engagement harvesting with social media, but maybe it's attention harvesting is actually what it is. So you have to look at Trump. You have to look at whatever's being said. You have to be engaged, right? Engaged is still the right term, but it's the attention itself that is. I hate to bring that up because of the books got written about it recently, but the thing is, we've been talking about it for years before these books got written, right? And it's real. Like that is the commodity. Like the actual commodity, the currency of the universe is belief, right? But after belief being the main currency of the universe, what is that? How is that exchange happening? The exchange happens through the marketplace, and the marketplace of ideas is the attention span, the attention of the people in the market,
and instilling the emotional, frequencies across the plane and influencing the way people think and the way people act. Is what we were talking about on the show. That was going to happen in the future. But, I mean, the future is always now around here, isn't it? It's not going to happen someday. It's already happening. And by the time you hear about it, oh, look, we made this minor discovery. Look, we've made a minor discovery. Well, there's been some discoveries all this week. Literally, the stuff that's coming out, if you listen or are you interested in tech news, we're getting breakthroughs on a daily basis, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly because of what's going on with quantum computing. I mean, I think we're going to see advancements that are literally going to blow people's minds, really. And listen, Microsoft had a breakthrough with these quantum computing chips. And take a listen to this, man.
But control it, creating an entirely new material and a new architecture for quantum computing. One that can scale to millions of qubits on a single chip.
This is not a work of science, it's a work of science and art.
I gotta be honest, some of these ideas are a little science fiction sounding.
It will solve problems unsolvable by the combined power of all the world's compute today, and promises to revolutionize fields such as medicine, material science, and our understanding of the natural world. Our first quantum processor based on this architecture is the Majorana 1.
All right, so how many qubits was Geordie Rose talking about back
in 2014 or 2000? It was 2008, 2014 was big reveals, right?
Right.
With him and
I forget what it was.
Right?
Yeah, I forget what it was, but
Ludowski, whatever it is. Yeah, but yeah, when the first D wave came out. I don't recall. Wasn't that many? It was like 8 or something at most. It wasn't that much. So what is it now? I wonder.
Right. So I mean, didn't now. I don't know, man. With this capability, really at this point, using it to solve problems are going to be getting solved left and right. Wouldn't you say? I mean, all the problems that we couldn't solve before. The one missing thing, how to make liquid aluminum, that kind of shit.
Yeah, but I always think of that Star Trek 4, right?
Yeah.
How do we know he didn't make it, right? What Scotty says, right? Yeah, that's their excuse to just let it go, let it ride, because they're stuck there in a different time, literally, and have to deal with where they're at, and dealing with the time paradox, right? By saying, well, how do we know he didn't make it in the first place? Like, in other words, that's completing the time loop. And so that's what quantum computing brings to us, is this idea: if you're really fully going quantum, really, what it means is you're going across time and space with no reference to time as we know it, right? Like they call it the Akashic records, whatever in spiritual terms, but that's really what you're accessing, right? So you're accessing this thing that exists, which is the Godhead, right? And essentially, that's what it is, right? And so if you're doing that, then what does that mean, right? Because we are mortal beings. We are mortal beings. We are limited by time. Time is coordinates in time space, right? We have a limited space in this time space continuum to exist in. And if you can suddenly access things beyond us that are the immortal and the eternal, then all of a sudden you have access to something beyond our means. And when something's beyond your means, it's like the old term, reaching beyond your means. We're gonna screw it up, man. We're gonna screw it up.
Well, what it reminds me of is that movie Contact, when she
I'm thinking about
when
think,
she
think about that
falls
before you go on
through-
just a little
when
bit.
she
That's what Elon Musk is right now. He's remember that was the CEO of that company they blamed everything on, and Contact was this guy who was so rich he faked the whole thing. Well, in this case, that is Elon Musk in our continuum right now.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is the moment where she goes into the machine and only a couple seconds pass by here on Earth, but she goes on this whole journey when she's in the not here, only there. You know, she's not a 1 or a 0, she's somewhere else. You know, and I think that's what happens in the quantum space, and to align with what you were saying about the time-space continuum and quantum computing.
It was hours to her, right? It was hours to her, and it was like, what did it say, like 1.3 seconds or something? I haven't seen the movie in a while, but it was just the time it took for the vessel to fall. And the time they dropped it, the time it hit and splashed down.
Right, but it's that space in between where she is, that cavitation point, that moment. So for us, they say, well, it can solve a problem faster than any computer with all the computers on Earth for the next billion years couldn't solve this problem. But this thing could solve it in a millisecond. You know what I mean? But it's a millisecond to us, but it goes somewhere else. It's not a 1 or a 0 place. It's somewhere else. So how long it was taken to solve that problem over there is funny. It's interesting.
Well, that is the best point ever, Jimmy, and I'm glad you brought it up because nobody ever talks about that. Okay, it's a millisecond to us. Why isn't it 380 years on the other side? Because we don't know that, right? We just see what happened in a millisecond on our side.
That's right.
So if quantum accessibility is possible throughout the universe through these processing techniques, then we're in this one coordinate in time space. Then our perspective is such that yes, it's only a millisecond to us, but it could be generations on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No,
that's the point. We don't know, and that's the question of eternity, right? Because that doesn't matter in eternity. But for beings limited by time-space coordinates like we are, right, it does matter, right? So because our souls may be eternal, our spirit may be eternal, but our physical bodies are not, right? And that's the problem, right? Like, so if that quantum accessibility through the Ark of the Covenant, through the pyramids, through whatever it was at the time, gives us this accessibility to this great archive of knowledge that to us may only be milliseconds, but on the other side could be thousands of years for all we know, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter to us, except that we see the result. But on the other side, it doesn't matter to them because they're eternal, right? But we're not eternal.
No.
Those seconds matter. It's a cost. It's you know what it is? It's paying the ferryman. That's what it is. The cost to the other side.
Siddhartha. Well, listen, we're just diving into a few things here now, because I keep seeing these headlines about quantum teleportation, advancements that are going to be made because of, we have the ability to solve problems, that no one can solve in milliseconds, But so there we go. We're going to be, in a minute, we're going to be beaming ourselves up somewhere. In 2 seconds flat, we're all gonna be on the Enterprise, beaming ourselves around the universes. You know what I mean? I think you do.
You know what's funny to me, and I don't want to curse anybody with this picture necessarily, but imagine the Federation and Starship Enterprise, or whatever, and imagine that you're a crew member in Starship Enterprise, and there's no money and everything's cool, and you have this job you like because you're the best at that job, and been assigned there, and you have the opportunity to move to other places, and it's a kind of heaven to you, right? But what if it's not really heaven at all? It's a form of purgatory or a form of evolution. It's a form of things you're rewarded with in a timeline of us as a human species, right? Like, in other words, Star Trek is a level of heaven in a sense, right? Not heaven per se, but the manifestation of the best humans can be at a particular point. Like when we talk about 1,000-year reign when Christ returns, it's like that kind of thing. It's like this is part of that. Like this is something that humans could achieve, and we could really live. And we'll get to experience that. But I don't think it's amusing a little bit to me to imagine that is part of what it could be. Like, in other words, part of this transition to being back and rewarded in belonging among the eternal spiritual world is going through the steps. And these steps, first we imagine them in something like Star Trek, and then we get to experience them in something like that kind of reality, right? Is part of this prophesied, transition after the tribulation and whatnot, right? If you're Christian, but whatever it might be, whatever religion you are. And I think that, isn't it interesting that could be a possibility? We never even thought of it that way, like that. Like people who are living in the tribulation when it happens, if it could be happening right now, aren't going to know that it is necessarily. Some people will, some people won't, right? It's just they're experiencing it. That's the reality.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I'll tell you this.
It's ocular migraine talk.
There is a reality about this global consciousness. So human beings being connected without the technology is always happened and always been there. But now it's been enhanced, and there's a possibility that we're unawares. But you may just be lulled into an apathetic nap-taking frenzy. Where you just, I'm just gonna take another nap. It's tiring and fatiguing to just sit there and go through the barrage every single day of everything that's going on.
But what if your dream self is performing chores in an alternate reality based on our collective unconscious, right? And so when you go into the dream state, you do those chores. That's what tires you out during the day. Is the alternate world we inhabit all the time is demanding more resources, just like those quantum computers are gathering resources from someplace we can't see in our conscious state. We go there and we do it, and in the end, it ends up being us the whole time.
Well, I don't know, man. You have to find your cognitive liberty zone and go someplace where there's no electronics. Try to get away and try to chill. I don't know, man. I think if you go in, they hate trees. Whatever trees have become the enemy. Maybe go where there's a shitload of trees. Wherever there's trees, head there. Believe me.
They're plugged in, dude. They're plugged in.
Trees are your friend. And they absorb. That's another thing. They're full of water. And they absorb. Not unlike the shit that's around my smart meter. And that shit absorbed a little too much. Now it's dead. All the grass and the ivy and the bushes all within a 6-foot diameter of my smart meter. Dead. It's like a desert.
You got J.O.N. Hynek out there with a meter investigating the swath of the, I think it was UFO land or something.
I'm telling you, man. It's like
people remember J.O.N. Hynek. He died a couple years ago, but yeah. I think there's something to that, like the whole idea of swaths of grass being dead like that. It is RF. It almost certainly is.
I'll take a picture of it tomorrow and put it on the screen for everybody to see. It's literally amazing. But anyhow, it's not my smart meter. That's the other thing. It's the people across the away from me smart meter. And that makes it even worse. Because it's blasting our house. Disrupting my sleep, causing anxiety, headaches, moodiness, all the things. You just think, you're like, what's wrong with that guy? He's such an asshole. But you didn't realize he lives in an apartment building and all the smart meters are on one side of the building, right next to his apartment. I don't know. It's a terrible, terrible scenario. No one wants to have that happen. And if it does happen, I suggest you move immediately or to go bald. One or the other. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. just about had enough.
Well, I think about the smart meter thing is that all these frequencies we talk about all the time, they're energetic, right? So energetic forces have a reaction. There's just no getting around it, right? It's Newtonian physics. Every action equal and opposite reaction, right? Now there's other actions since then. We talk about quantum or whatever, but every one of these energetic actions has reaction. It just does. Whether it's seen or unseen, doesn't really matter. It's still happening, right? And sometimes we see it, like the dying grass in your yard, I think that, this is one of those things that is, I think in future generations, if we live long enough, we'll look back on and just go, what the hell were people thinking? You don't leave bowling balls rolling down the driveway. What the hell were you doing hooking up the smart meter, broadcasting at the frequency right across, to everybody? What the hell? But we're not there yet, unfortunately.
Well, maybe those broadcasting mechanisms inside the smart meters are broadcasting a little bit more than smart meter. Maybe they're making you go sleep. 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 2025 was the they live year.
Gentlemen, there are 7 acknowledged wonders of the world.
We gotta clear the palette, man.
Standing in the spotlight on showcase.
You know what I mean?
12 young men who are giving you such tunes as the grunt. Pass the peas. Give me some more. Ladies and gentlemen, without no doubt, these are the JBs.
Hit it.
Here comes the JBs.
Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. Improving. Play so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, Jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you high. Yeah. Ow. All right. You wanna do it again? You wanna do it again, huh? Yeah, let's do one more time. We gotta take you high.
All right. The JBs, there they go. We raised JB from the grave. There he comes. He came in the quantum space. All right. So, Epic Journeyman, look. What else is on your radar from coming up from this past week? Because, like I said, there's a whole bunch of things I'm going to point out about this.
Well, every week has so many things that just, are disrupting. And that's intentional. But no, I thought today was like the one that really distilled everything. Are we really aligning ourselves with what used to be called the axis of evil? Russia, Iran, North Korea. Is that really where we're going? In China, right? Is that really where we're going? I mean, it sounds like it. It does. I don't know what to make out of that. And so that's kind of stunning to me. I just, if that's true, the people don't want that. That's a governmental decision, right? An executive decision. It's not something we chose. So I think that leads to a lot of really big questions in how we're going to respond to it, right? So that I don't think anything can be overshadowed by that. That's the thing that overshadows everything. I just, or European allies are flabbergasted. Everybody is amazed that this happened today, right, with Zelensky. So we'll have different perspectives on it depending on their media stream and their media silos and stuff. But there's no way of getting around it. We've decided to go with Russia. We decided to go with the axis of evil, Russia. But dude, they voted. The U.S. voted with Iran, Russia, and North Korea against Ukraine a couple of days ago. I mean, never ever happened before. Nobody ever imagined in wildest dreams that would happen. So, are we becoming the bad guys? I mean, it's a serious thing to think about.
Well, isn't that typical? I mean, wouldn't you say? I mean, that would be the typical move in a situation like this, where the good guys all of a sudden become the bad guys. mean, it'd be a good plot twist.
Well, yeah, it's a good plot twist for a movie. It's terrible for reality, right? Because it puts us in the. So what this means is, if that's true, let's just say that's true. That means that we are the people in pick of civilization at the time. We're Romans before the fall of Rome. We're Nazi Germany before it became Nazis, right? We have that opportunity to leave.
The golden
do we leave? Do we fight? What do we do? What do we do about it? Do you stand up against it? Do you just bail out? We have the chance to. What do you do?
I don't know, man. Believe me, I'm going to tell you right now. There's a bunch of people. Literally, I didn't hear the speech live. We're coming up on the top of the hour here pretty quick.
I heard it live,
but no, listen to me. Hold on. How about listen to what I'm saying for a second? How about that? So I was listening. I tuned in to Alex Jones at the very, when this was happening, and he literally sounded like he was having a fucking orgasm from what was being said.
It was Russian.
No, because right, he literally sounded like he was going. He said, "It's like I was swimming 50 miles and I just came to shore. I've been doing this for 30 years, this and that," because of what was said. So I'm gonna say, epic. I'm just letting you know, there's a bunch of people that are happy about what Trump and Vance said.
I know.
And on some level,
he lost that big court case because of Sandy Hook,
but listen,
right? And he's trying to get his revenge too, and he's on the side of Russia, just like Tulsi Gabbard is. And in his case, this is a victory for him,
but
just like it is for Russia.
What I'm saying to you is, there's a lot of people that are happy about what's going on right now, and so
it doesn't make them right.
No, but it doesn't. But it also, people feel like they've been slighted by a lot of shit that's gone on over the last.
Well, it's a grievance economy, right? The whole idea is grievances to make people feel pissed off about things they shouldn't be pissed off about. Because it's
He's showing up fashionably late.
There he is.
Rock and Rio. Have you arrived? I see you there, but I see your mute button is on. So, if you think Epic and I aren't talking to you. You're there. Anyways, are you? I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I've been chilling out here in the back in the green room, just enjoying the.
I think there's something in the trash can. It's bad. Stinks back there. I had to come out of there, man. I couldn't stay in there. It's either that or somebody had some big fat green buds back there that are so dank that it made the whole room stank. So listen, did you get my voicemail?
No.
Okay, so you're probably gonna organic Sharpton tonight. Here, I'll give you the link.
What, for Trump and Zelensky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already on that.
I figured you were, but I sent you a voicemail anyways. So let you know. And so he went on Fox too. So I haven't heard that. I'm gonna grab that because the second hour we're gonna get into some of this. Because now just real quick, because we're coming up on the top of the hour, Rock Rio. So real quick, were you able to see or hear any of this when it happened?
I saw some clips of it. I saw the pretty much, I guess, the last 5 minutes of it is where Trump got heated and Zelensky called Vance a bitch. I saw that part.
He called him a bitch?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, well, he said it in Russian or whatever he speaks. But when Vance was talking to him, like under his breath, he went "suka," whatever the word was. So
they were ganging up on him,
I think I don't know. It was a bad show. Let's just put it that way. I mean,
dude, it's this shit is reality TV, man. It's too much. Zelensky owns a house in Florida.
maybe him and Trump will go play some golf tomorrow.
What I'm just saying, a couple million for a house in Florida out of how many billion? I mean, you just throw a few million around. Like when you got a billion, a million's like it's like a $5 tip down at Starbucks. They're like a million. 5 million? Here, I got $350 billion. No one's going to miss a few million, will they? No. But here comes the Epstein files. I mean, this whole thing here happened, and right at the same exact moment as the Epstein files were dropping. What a coincidence, man.
What Epstein files? They didn't release anything, right? That was the whole scam. The whole
exactly.
problem.
There wasn't. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the funny part is what they released. It says Trump took 2 flights on the Epstein planes.
Well, out of the 7, we know he did. Right? Yeah. I mean, because here's the thing: when you remember, it's in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. There's 7 of them, right, in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Every single person who's on there on that list is going to say the same thing. I had no idea what was going on.
I didn't know
there.
he was a child molester.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
I came out there. Somebody invited me to go to a get together. I went out there.
Dershowitz just gonna say, "Yeah, I had the massage with the clothes on." I didn't know she was 14. I always think of that Cheech and Chong skit. How the hell was I supposed to know she was only 14? From Basketball Jones. I mean, that's exactly
too
it.
Much, man.
Play that.
No, yeah, it's too much. But anyway, that's what I mean. There's something afoot. There's something going on, and I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling there's just something going on. Now the planets are lining up. The planets are lining up. Mars is getting ready to go into retrograde in a couple of months. People are talking, man. Lots of astrologers are starting to talk about this time period we're going through. Looks like it's going to be for example, the other day, the Schumann resonance was going off the charts. At the same time, the dot was red. The world dot that monitors the emotional content or it tests or feels the vibe of the planet. It was red, and the Schumann resonance was out of this world. So I wonder if there's a correlation between you getting uptight and paranoid and the Schumann resonance going, blowing out of the charts. What do you think? Were you feeling edgy yesterday, day before? Either of you two guys feeling edgy? People were feeling edgy yesterday for some reason.
Yeah, actually, I was.
All the time.
I was cranky yesterday.
Mercury retrograde. No, not that. Anything but that.
Actually, today not Mercury, but there's a 7-planet alignment today at dusk.
That's what I was saying.
They're talking that it's quite interesting. I went outside and looked at it.
Well, hopefully, it doesn't, cause earthquakes. The gravitational pull of all the planets in a line going around in a circle.
I'm not sure which planet it is. It might be Jupiter, but one of them has been really bright in the sky for like weeks now.
Man, dude,
really, it's like Star of Bethlehem kind of bright.
Rock and Rio Epic Journeyman is on fire about this Russia thing.
Well,
I don't know if I'd set him on fire. I'm just pissed at what happened. We're the bad guys now. We chose Russia over the free world. We're no longer the beacon on the hill. We're no longer the shining city on the hill. We're the bad guys.
What concerns me?
We joined the Axis.
What concerns me about what you're saying is it reminds me of what I was saying 3 weeks ago when I was saying, what are you going to do with all these Central Intelligence Agency people that get fired? They're going to...
I was thinking about that today.
Well, I'm
exactly.
Just saying,
what are they going to do?
All of a sudden, there's a bunch of people that feel exactly like you do. then
I have an
what,
idea what they might do. Exactly.
Then what happens?
Yep.
Exactly. Exactamundo. Because the thing is, man, remember when this was a long time ago. This is from yesteryear. Let me remind people. It used to be like this. When there was a president in there and he wasn't the one you voted for, even though you didn't vote for him, you still had to sit there and go, you know what? I didn't vote for him and I don't like him, but he's the president and I live in America. Remember that? Used to be like that, but it hasn't been like that in a long time.
Well, it's because people aren't voting. That's the problem. Between 80 and 90 million people didn't even vote. If they voted, just that voting block by itself would have beat both Harris and Trump. The people who didn't vote would have beat both of them if they just voted, right?
Yeah, man. Well, who knows? I do know this. I just took a big swill of some coffee, and we're gonna go on a break here.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the swill of the coffee myself. I need to do that.
I know.
But I'm worried it's going to contribute to my ocular migraine, man. That caffeine gives me that whole constriction of the blood vessel thing, right?
Well, you get yourself some coffee, because it's break time coming up. It's Revolution Radio, and we're fully listener supported. And like I was saying earlier, when you come down and become supporters, it puts a spring in your step, man. You whistle while you work, this kind of shit. You do all the chores that you hate. You do them again. You go ahead and do them. The break is coming. Listen to it. It's trying to overtake me.
Yeah, we talked about breaking music. It was good.
This is everybody.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
If you're sick of the lies and ready to know thyself, to love thyself, well then tune in to the Loveolution with your hosts, Amy and John Paul, where we speak all about truth, love, and freedom every Tuesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio. And remember, only you can free your mind control. Be a Loveolutionary.
Welcome to Coffee Rants with Dan. I am the spiritual anarchist, Dan Arnold, your host. Tune in for what's really happening every Thursday. That's Thursday at 9 a.m. in Studio A on Revolution Radio. They keep us in fear to manipulate us. They want us ignorant so we're easier to enslave. They make us murder one another so they don't have to do it themselves. Only you can break their mind control by healing the contradictions within your belief systems that allow you to accept their lies in the first place. The time has come for us to remember our divinity, who we really are, to return to what we are meant to be, a service to others, to return to nature, and to reclaim our birthright, that which is freedom, the truth, The truth will sound belligerent because it is in direct opposition to lies. So get angry, because anger is sacred. And together we can unite and rise. Rise from this darkness. Humanity, assemble.
Do you love topics about history, world events, popular conspiracies, and everything under the sun, while discussing their historical context? Then welcome your host, Trinity, where no topic is off the table, truth is spoken to power, and where your voice can be heard. Here is where you can communicate openly and learn from one another, while respecting our diverse society and figuring out the truth to where we're heading. Join Trinity in a 2-hour roller coaster ride of research, comedy, and interesting content. Made with you in mind, people that matter the most. On Mondays at 12 a.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Central, only on Revolution Radio Studio B. Be a part of a different way to hear radio.
Buy on blue, sell on red. This new indicator gives
Check in every Thursday night for the Crypt Rick and Jonathan Show.
Studio A, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here at the #1 listener-supported radio station, Revolution Radio.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got here.
All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And yeah, we're going to get back to your host.
It's Friday night.
To make us feel so hollow, love.
Hour number 2.
Stickers are shallow. Cops and queers. To swim you have to swallow. Today, no love for tomorrow. We're all stars now. In the dope show. We're all stars now. In the dope show. There's lots of pretty ones.
Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin? It's very tough. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin? It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly
but,
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations.
All right, that's 2 minutes and 31 seconds in. And Zelensky is now describing the ceasefire deal that he had made previously and asserting that that agreement wasn't followed and had something to do with a gas pipeline, natural gas pipeline. So, you guys want to mention or any parts of this that you thought were interesting, or do you have something to say before I continue? No.
Sorry, it's muted. I think that it was incredibly embarrassing. It was an incredibly sad moment. It was the day America died in my heart. To me, I mean, it was. We chose to side with the bad guys. We decided it's the equivalent of siding with Nazi Germany. That's what we did. We decided we're with Putin.
Somebody else said something like that when Trump was elected on this show.
Well, it's not the election. It's what just happened there.
No, I'm just saying. But somebody mentioned that on this show, that they felt like this wasn't even their country anymore now. And it sounds like now you've been
country. Our country's all of us, but
have you been discouraged
of this particular thing that just happened? That's incredibly wrong.
You just
on every level.
You seem deeply disturbed by this whole thing.
Yes, I am. So much so that I don't think I could even I can't even contribute anymore at this point. If this is a division that's going to happen, I don't get paid to be here, right? I mean, if this is a division that's going to happen, that you're either with Putin or you're with the rest of the world, then I'm not with Putin, so I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not going to be part of any of that anymore, ever, not at all, ever.
Yeah, but
I'm not. I can't contribute to that. It's bad karma for me. It's bad for everyone involved.
Rio, do you know what?
I'm not a bad guy.
Rio, do you know what Epic is talking about? You have any idea what Epic's talking about, Rio?
Oh, well, no.
Me neither.
Okay, well, I mean, if you don't understand, then you didn't hear what just happened, because what just happened was we sold out to Russia. We are in cahoots with Russia. We've joined the axis of evil that Reagan talked about. We are with North Korea. We are with Russia. We are with, China. We are with Iran. That's us. We've changed sides. We flipped sides.
Is that what you think?
I'm not flipping sides.
Rio, is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Rio,
what I gathered from it, and maybe I'm just looking at it a little bit more surface level. What I was hearing is Trump just wants the war to stop. Like he's, the whole thing. He says he wants.
He extorted Ukraine for $500 billion freaking dollars. $500 billion. Pay us $500 billion or else. That's extortion. Just like he did the first time he got impeached. That's exactly what he did. He's a freaking moron and a freaking mobster and a freaking evil person. And anybody who follows him right now at this point they're deluded, man. They're deluded. That's how I feel. And I understand people want to vote for change or whatever, want better egg prices. This isn't better egg prices. This is us siding with Putin and the bad guys. And if you can't see that, that's okay in the short term. But in the long term, I'm not going to be part of it at all. At all.
But see, here's what I don't get, man. Here's what I don't understand about this whole Russia thing. Okay, I understand what's going on there with the war. I understand what's going on with the Crimea, which is what it was about originally. Okay, I get that.
And they were wrong then.
But hold on. I understand it. But the thing is there's wars going on all the time. There's people fighting each other all the time. And it's nobody's business but who's the people that are fighting. Right? And then all of a sudden, we're in this whole thing. And what we were trying to do previously, when the walls came down, and and it was Russia, not the Soviet Union. What it seemed like, it was Russia was part of the world community at that point, and everybody was cool with everything. But it seems like for some reason this thing happened here, and now there seems to be just this big dividing line down the whole world, over this issue.
Well, and the other thing to remember is, Trump's trying to, quote, extort the $500 billion out of Ukraine for mineral rights and then whatever else that, that deal is supposed to entail. But what about the $500 billion, Biden gave to Ukraine just because?
Well, that's what's...
What about all the secret shipments of billions of dollars in cash to go over there that just, kind of disappeared?
There are no billions of dollars in cash. What the hell are you freaking talking about? That does not exist. It did not happen. What happened was we sent our old weapons over there, and we spent that money at $65 billion, by the way. It wasn't $350 billion like Trump keeps lying about. We spent that money over here. It was $182 billion allotted, and we spent that on building our arms here in America to replenish with newer weapons.
Right.
The old weapons we were sending over there.
Ladies
There's
and
no
gentlemen-
cash give out.
Ladies
The
and
only other
gentlemen-
cash give out was with USAID, ironically, which went to rebuild their electrical grid, which this frickin' bastard just canceled. Right?
Listen,
To
ladies
hurt
and
them
gentlemen,
because
what-
he didn't get his way.
what
That
epic
fucking
tournament-
monster it deserves to be the anathema of the entire world. He is the Hitler of the world. He is worse than Hitler. Because he's not Hitler. He's Trump. Trump is worse. They're not Nazis. They're MAGA, and
What-
MAGA is worse.
what-
And as far as I'm concerned, I am never going to deal with this again at all.
What epic is referring to, ladies and gentlemen, is that dollar amounts were associated with archaic weapons that were being held by the U.S. And so what he's referring to is that there was dollar amounts associated with the disposing, basically, of those. But you'd have to get rid of them at some point because they're not good anymore. And so what they did was they got rid of the old shit. They gave it to them to use in their war, and then they replaced it with, or gonna replace it with new shit. And that's what he's referring to. So, do you want to continue listening to this epic, or what's going on, man? Because you seem like you're getting a little bit,
Well, you got to remember, I did preface the show today talking about my ocular migraines. So I'm not
I
in
know.
the best of moods.
I know. Well, that's what I mean. You got to chill,
but
man.
I do want to hear this because I did not get to hear this. I heard the live show earlier, which probably contributed to my ocular migraines.
That's
in the
what I
first
mean.
place.
Just take it
because,
easy.
But I would like to hear this. I'd like to hear what happened with
Let old
the
Jimmy,
Brett Baer
let Jimmy
interview.
make you a fucking cup of chamomile tea, dude.
Some hot cocoa. Yeah.
Just
whatever. All
remember,
right.
this is.
Let's have it.
All right, so now we've gotten to the point where now Zelensky's now going into what happened with this with these previous agreements with Putin. All right, and I was just thinking here when I was listening to you, Epic. I was thinking to myself, I don't think there's ever been a single person that I can remember that has sat here and been literally in the news every single day, all over the news since back when he was president the last time and running for president. All this time, for all these years, the 4 years that Biden was in office, same thing. We're talking about Trump on here. Okay, we've been talking about this guy for like a fucking 6 years, man. There isn't a detail that we haven't talked about this guy. So
He's the most needy person on the planet for attention.
I'm
He's a
just
spoiled 3-year-old who won't
saying,
shut up in
man.
the fucking shopping market.
Look at this here. Let's take a listen to the rest of this here, at least for a couple minutes. If there's something you want me to stop, I will. All right, stand by. And we're going to open up the phones too. So what we're going through here now, I'm going to go back over to the video itself. And right now, Zelensky is about to finish explaining to Vance what Vance doesn't understand. And there's a piece coming up here where he goes, "Really, dude, have you ever been to Ukraine?" And Vance starts going, and then he goes, "Well, no, I've seen the propaganda videos. I've seen you running propaganda." All right, so here, I thought that was a funny moment. Okay, here we go.
contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office?
All right, listen. I'm going to point this body language out. Okay, first of all, notice that is the same position Trump was sitting in last week when we showed the Scottish right 33-degree ceremony. It's the
same hand position that Elon Musk always uses in his conferences.
I'm just saying, man, that right there is a hand signal. And, this ain't the Super Bowl decoding. I'm telling you right now. And the stance with the legs. Okay, so J.D. Vance, he's pointing his finger. And Zelensky is closed up. He's got his arms crossed. He's protecting himself. He's being protected of himself right now because he's being attacked, right? So he's got his arms crossed. And, he crossed his arms. He leaned back and crossed his arms because he... You know what, man? There was kind of a weird moment, too. It was almost like a line was said that cued another line from an actor. There was like this acting moment in there for that.
To bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
He's out. You have a nice ocean now, but you're gonna feel it in the future. This shit triggered Trump. Trump's getting ready to go off now because he took it to mean someone's gonna come here as like a veiled threat. Didn't you detect that, Rio? Was that like a threat to you?
It did sound like a veiled threat, yeah.
Or
I
like
could see
he
where
knows,
it was taken that way.
Or like he
It
knows.
may not have been his intention because of the language barrier, but that's what it would have sounded like.
It might be a stupid moment where he wanted to be powerful, and he might have revealed something that he knows about. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't say anything specific, but he said something, and because this dude is connected to a bunch of people, right? Clearly. Wouldn't you say? There's a bunch of people that want to help Ukraine. I mean, Germany stepped up. Who else stepped up over there? Epic Journeyman. It was Germany so far today.
It was the entire European Union stepped forward and came back and supported Zelensky. It was Spain, it was Portugal, it was Germany, it was France, it was England, it was Spain, it was everybody. Right?
Right.
We are the bad guys. If you look at it from the perspective of World War II, we are the Axis now. We are actually the people that Europe fought against. That's who we've become. unless we stop it right now. We have to stop it. We have
that,
to stop it.
What was that movie where it was like if the Nazis would have won and it was like a different timeline or something? You remember that?
Iron Moon, right? Iron Moon.
Is that what it's called?
Iron Moon, because the Nazis take over. They won World War II, and they have a base on the moon. And I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's exactly the Fourth Reich. That's what we're talking about right now.
Exactly.
So
well,
basically,
the
techno-fascists want to take over with artificial intelligence and make a Reich that will never be overthrown, because artificial intelligence they think they can control will actually make sure that there's no dissonance possible at all, right? But the problem is that they aren't going to control it. The AI is going to get control of it, of course, right? Because they're just human beings. And that's why they're living in bunkers right now, because they know they've effed up. That's what's happening.
All right, listen.
It's happening right now.
He just triggered it. He just said the words that we talked about. You don't have any problems right now, but you will feel it in the future, he says.
Yes.
Okay, now here comes Trump.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives of
of war.
millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's
with all
backed
respect to
you
your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong.
He said, "Why don't you?"
They should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
Hold on. Have you said thank you once?
He said it 1,000 times.
No, I'm just saying.
Every time I see Zelensky saying thank you.
It sounds
Every
like he
single
sounds like a kid who's been scolded by his parents. He's like, "Man, we let you use the car. We gave you the credit card. Have you said thank you once? Have you even said thank you once?" No.
He's a frickin' moron. And the fact is that this guy is in Putin's pocket, has been since 1987. We all know it. He's Krasnov back then. He's Krasnov still. In fact, his wife, Melania, was on frickin' Epstein's plane. That nude pictures, plural, of Melania when he boned her the first time are from Epstein's plane. And these people think he's some kind of great guy. No, he's not a great guy. We know who he is. He's frickin' evil incarnate. He is.
Dude.
And we're going to listen to this buffoon. He's a buffoon. He's a schoolyard bully. He has no idea what he's doing. And all he has to do, and all he has to go in his favor is exactly this kind of thing, to try to look powerful because he doesn't know what he's doing. And when that try to look to become powerful fails, he throws a temper tantrum, which is what he's doing right now, because he won't talk to Zelensky again. Screw this guy, man. So what's going to happen is America is going to divide. It's going to divide. It's going to happen. We're either going to secede, or we're going to try to impeach this guy, or whatever. Or they're going to have a military coup. We can't keep it up. It's going to happen. So, thank you everybody who let this happen. I know you were voting for cheaper eggs or whatever, but you knew he was a snake when you let him in. He told you. You knew I was a snake when you let me in, over and over and over again, and you still let him in.
What are you gonna do, man? The thing is like, don't you? I mean, Epic Journeyman, doesn't the pendulum have to swing both ways? I mean,
well, where did it swing to the side of good in the last 8 years or whatever? It hasn't.
Well, yeah, more than 8 years, right? It's been.
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
It was Obama for 8 years before that, and it was Bush before that. I mean, it's been going on for a long time.
I was in Iraq. I freaking went there. I went there to find out what's going on personally. I went there on my own as an independent contractor.
What are you yelling at me for? I'm not against you, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the people who maybe don't know where I am or where I'm coming from don't appreciate what I have done for this country. And maybe you should and have a little bit of perspective and know where I'm coming from. I work for intelligence community. I worked as an independent military contractor. I worked in, I have some credentials, okay? And the thing is, what I'm seeing now is an absolute takeover by the Russians and the South Africans of all people. And what we're seeing is apartheid, neo-fascism, not neo-fascism. It's actually not neo-fascism at all. What it actually is techno-fascism, a takeover by a technocratic government instilled and believed to be able to perpetuate a Fourth Reich that will rule forever through artificial intelligence. That's what we're dealing with.
That is, man. I mean, so, the bottom line is that you can't, once you get to a certain point, there's no going back. Right? So we're on the precipice of that point, right? So now everything's coming out now. Now, anyone who has access to this quantum computing and artificial intelligence, aren't we almost, when you say real, it feels like the singularity has arrived? Would you think? I mean, this is a really super intense moment. Now, Epic Journeyman, I hear what you're saying. But I'm still not caught up in it like you are, because you made, sacrifices in your life. You joined the military, you floated around in submarines, looking for Russian subs.
And joined a covert intelligence agency. Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's not agency. Let me rephrase that.
I get it.
I worked in covert work. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So understood.
And then I was an independent contractor in Iraq.
Right.
Yes.
Understood, man.
So I have a perspective that is based that people maybe don't appreciate.
Well, you have a perspective that most people don't have because they haven't been in a position such as yourself. And so part of what we do on the show is we try to bring people to a place where they have a place where they can look around and see what's actually going on. So you bring that perspective to the table as far as what's going on with the Russian and Ukrainian situation. You have a deeper understanding of this than a lot of people do.
I have a geopolitical understanding, right?
So listen, but my big question to all this right now in this moment is, where is Condoleezza Rice?
Susan Rice is on TV today.
No, I'm saying, where's Condoleezza Rice? Because she came from Stanford University, and her whole thing was
Susan Rice, I believe,
Soviet relations. Soviet relations. Condoleezza Rice. She's a fucking expert, and she's a Republican. And she's a black woman. Where is she? I don't know. Why? That's the thing. To me, to me, this isn't diplomacy, what's going on here in this meeting. But like I said,
it's extortion. It's mob boss rule. That's what it is. It's mob boss rule. It's a kleptocracy. It is a kakistocracy, where you put the worst people in charge to disrupt and destroy the government, followed by what is intended to be a kleptocracy like Putin has in Russia. That's exactly what this is. Dismantling the U.S. government.
Epic. The thing is people got to understand in the first place that there's fasci on the walls of Congress, right? So America's been...
But we're modeled after Rome. Yeah,
well, I'm just saying, America has been a fascist. America's been a fascist country.
Pre-Caesar Rome, though. There's a distinction. Pre-Caesar Rome.
I'm just saying, America's been a corporatocracy, dude, for a while. And so the thing is just for people to just... What's going on right now is people are just coming out and saying it. They're just coming out and just, there's no hiding it anymore. You can't have billionaires sitting up in the White House helping to make decisions that are
that's complete fascism at its core. Exactly.
It's a fucking definition of it.
He just fired, Elon Musk just fired the legally rewarded contract. I mean, he dismantled the legally awarded contract for Verizon to operate the FAA $2 billion contract, $2.5 billion, I think it was actually,
Mhm.
and then instilled himself and Starlink in there in his place with a no bid thing because he can, right? So this is fascism at its core. This is people taking advantage of the situation they have to enrich their buddies and discard everything else along the way and take all the guardrails and safeguards out to eliminate the IGs.
See,
and,
now
you
they're
know,
putting
all these people
they're
that
putting
could stop
Pepe
it.
they're putting
So
Pepe
there's
in the
nobody there
chat.
to keep it from happening.
They're putting Pepe in the chat now. Haven't you put forward that the whole Pepe thing was started by Russia? The
Not only was it started with Russia, it was Cambridge Analytica and Steve Bannon working in conjunction with Steve Bannon and Alexander Dugin. 100%.
Well, now
I think I
Steve
can prove that
Bannon
now.
is coming out
100%.
pretty. Steve Bannon is coming out, and the script is coming out pretty hard against Elon Musk. Now, Rio, did I just hear the phone ring?
because he wants more fascism actually.
Rio.
But I mean the thing is, I don't say how fascism. So Alexander Dugin, you have to know this about Alexander Dugin. Alexander Dugin and Steve Bannon are adherents to a particular kind of religious practice called sorry, I have a brain fart here for a second.
That's all right.
It's called
Rio,
goddamn.
did I hear the phone
Anyway,
ringing?
the point being,
Rio.
they hear the same thing. I'll think of it in a second here. And the idea is that they believe you have to destroy the world to rebuild it. So you know, it's a conjuration of accelerationism where you have to destroy everything, rebuild it from scratch, right? And they before they got into this idea of this particular philosophy, they were Satanists. They actually adhered to a Satanist view, right? And then they moved on to this, right? And this is the shared philosophy of both.
All right.
Alexander Dugin
Stop.
and Steve Bannon.
Rock and Rio. Was that the
Yes.
phone? Did our phone ring?
Yes, it did. We have a caller.
All right.
347. Hello.
Thank you, Billy Ray Valentine. Yes, traditionalism. Exactly. That's it. Traditionalism.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. This is Mike from New York City.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Hey, Mike.
How's everything going, guys?
Going good.
Yeah, I hear the the passion in Epic's voice, and you know, I kind of disagree with him on some points. I do feel I don't like Trump. I see him as I don't know, like a stopgap.
Yeah.
For like 4 years later.
Mhm.
Who knows what's going to happen in 4 years? But I'm not a big fan of Trump or Putin or the Ukrainians, for that matter. Because if you go back to 2014, when this whole thing started, our CIA went into Ukraine and devised this. They called it the Maidan Revolution. They kicked out the Russian-friendly president and put some stooge in. I don't remember the name of right now, but anyway, they inserted their own Ukrainian puppet president, and from time forward, it was.
No. It was a Russian puppet president. It wasn't a Ukrainian Russian. I mean, it was a Russian puppet president.
A Russian puppet working for the Ukrainians, right?
No. He was for Russia, and so the Orange Revolution was about overthrowing him. Or maybe I misheard you. Maybe what you're saying is that he replaced the guy.
Overthrew in the coup.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy was more Russian friendly. And when they installed, I think the guy's name was Yanukovych or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, Ukraine started harassing and bombing Eastern Russians in Ukraine.
Well, hold on. So the
Donbass
Donbass region is
Donbass
actually
area.
Ukraine. It's
And
actually
so
Ukraine.
Putin
So what are you talking about? I mean,
Putin has been seeing that for like 8 years, and he finally decided to put an end to it and go in and protect his people, the Russian-speaking people who are being killed by the thousands, and they were being ethnically cleansed pretty much, because they were Russian. They weren't speaking the Ukrainian dialect. Ukraine, in fact, outlawed all Russian speaking in the eastern part of Ukraine. That inflamed
it's Ukraine. So my question would be, just I'm sorry, I don't mean to like be little like that. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not arguing.
my question
don't get
is,
weird with Mike, man. He's just saying what he remembers. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I understand. So you're repeating a lot of Russian talking points and things Tulsi Gabbard said. So my question would be, like, Donbass region is Ukraine, right? It's within the borders of Ukraine. So my question to you would be, at what point are you saying, because you got to remember, Russia shot down that jetliner that killed all those people, right? I mean, they killed all those people shooting down that plane.
So you're saying at what point would they bomb themselves? Are you asking why would they bomb themselves?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you talking about?
For $350 billion, dude.
Why?
No. What we're talking about here is that is Ukraine.
Russians.
You're asking why people are defending South Carolina or something in America. You know, yeah, we don't necessarily agree with everything in South Carolina. If you live in California or something, we're still going to defend South Carolina, right? So what we're talking about here is the Donbass region is still Ukraine. I mean, just like Crimea is, and they invaded in 2014 and took that over. The little green men, they called them at the time, right? I mean, this is all Russian aggression at every level. Just because they speak Russian, everybody in Ukraine speaks Russian. By the way, news alert, that's always been that way. It's been that way for 50 years or better, at least going back to World War II.
They created a Ukrainian dialect to separate.
No, dude, that Ukraine existed before Russia. Do you know that?
Okay, hold on, dude.
Ukraine existed 1,000 years before Moscow existed. Kiev existed 1,000 years before Moscow did.
The Kiev Rus came from Ukraine originally and moved to Russia. I do know that.
That's what I'm talking about, right? So that's what I'm saying is Kiev is the source, not Moscow.
Hang on a second.
So are you saying this is basically the same people then?
Well, what I'm saying is that they have an international border that should be respected. They had it in 1992. It was guaranteed by the Hungarian Accords, by the Minsk Agreement, and Russia broke it. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about what do you mean? No, that's exactly. There were two agreements: the Hungarian Accords and the Minsk Agreement. Russia broke both of them. Tell me how that didn't happen. Tell me how that didn't happen. I'm just saying, dude, that those are actual agreements. The Minsk Agreement and the Hungarian Accords. We agreed that if hold on a second. We agreed. Listen. Ukraine had thousands of nuclear weapons within its borders, and we agreed here in the West that we would give support militarily to ensure the integrity of the Ukrainian borders if they gave up their nuclear weapons, and they did.
That's true.
But
what about the Minsk?
That's what happened.
What about the Minsk Agreement, though, man? You know, the Minsk Agreement.
Merkel, the former chancellor of Germany, came out and said that was all a trap to build our forces in the Ukraine, so we could push Russia back even further and enlarge NATO and put nukes right beside Moscow.
Here, I want to ask.
Said that. And the thing is, why would that even be wrong?
Let me ask this question.
Expand the borders of NATO. Why is that bad?
Listen, why is there a NATO? Listen to me. Why is there a NATO? Why do we care? Why do we care what's going on with Russia?
Russia is no longer the USSR.
But they're trying to be. My God, man, what the F is wrong with you? Are you listening, watching what's going on TV?
Come on, dude. Dude, calm down.
They invaded Ukraine. They're going to go into Poland. They're going to go into the Baltics if we let them. If we come out of NATO, they're going to invade all those places. The intended intention of Vladimir Putin, as stated in his own writings, is that he's going to reconstitute the Soviet Union. What the F do you not understand about this?
Wow.
He wrote it himself.
I didn't realize.
Yourself.
I honestly,
written down. It's in the freaking historical record.
Dude, I didn't realize that Putin in his writings wrote that he was going to reestablish this.
Yes, he did. He absolutely did.
Can I just say something?
Come on, Epic, man. Calm down, bro. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
now I'm
Mike.
down. Sorry, man. You got to remember, I have an ocular migraine. I'm pissed off right now.
All right.
Well, have
I'm
you-
sorry. I'm not so deep, by the way.
Now,
I'm
hold
just
on a
kidding.
second.
I know you're passionate.
Hold on a second, Mike. Mike, let me ask the Epic a question. Now, do you read Putin's memoirs?
Yes.
Okay.
I absolutely
All right.
did
Calm
read
down.
this.
Calm down.
I absolutely 100%
Calm down.
did. He wrote it down. He
Okay. Well,
intends to
did you
reconstitute the Soviet
read?
Union.
Have you read The Art of a Deal?
I read part of the
Oh, well,
part of the deal, and the
you-
reason I stopped
so
reading
let me
is
get
because the
this straight. You
ghostwriter
read
wrote it
more.
for him because he read himself because Donald Trump cannot read. He's a functional illiterate.
I was teasing you, dude. Come on. Calm down.
Out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him
See, you hear little Kenny Rogers, bro? Doesn't he calm you right down?
Then he bummed a cigarette.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right.
I'll
Calm down.
appreciate a good song.
Can
All right.
I just make one more point?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead. Mike from New York, go
All
ahead.
right. Epic was saying Russia's, they're going to invade the Baltics, they're going to invade Poland. I don't think so, man. Their military is having a hard enough time holding the lines right now where they're of the land they've taken from Ukraine. So
Trump
they're
said he
really-
was
the
keeping
Russians
those.
are actually beating down themselves. So
Trump said he's keeping those sanctions on Russia too, because I think what he's trying to
what
do.
he
He's
say?
trying to wipe them out, Epic
Oh,
German, on the back end with this whole BRICS thing.
yeah, I
You know?
think that would that'd be good. I mean, the only way Russia got through this whole sanction stuff was because China propped them up, and without China, I think Russia would have fell from all the.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's a lot of economic turmoil. I mean, I don't really pay much. I personally haven't been paying much attention to Russia, and I haven't been paying much attention to this war, this Ukrainian
I've seen
war.
videos from people on YouTube, from people in Russia going in supermarkets saying, "Oh, you could buy all this great stuff for cheap," you know.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're propaganda videos. They might be.
Who knows? Like I say, I mean, realistically, I haven't really been paying much attention to it until it came up. And the only reason I was even bringing it up tonight is because I found this discussion to be interesting that was being had here. And I thought it showed out to me.
Hard feeling, man.
It shows out to me like a this whole discussion in the Oval Office looks scripted to me. The whole thing, it looks like
it looks
to me.
like a WWE
To me, I swear to God, listen to me. I used to be in Los Angeles. I used to be involved in trying to get movie roles and TV shows and shit. And so I used to go to all these acting classes,
Right.
And when you're in these classes, you got to sit there and you got to do a scene. You got to bring a scene to the class and do your scene, and then people sit around and critique it. So listen, I've seen a bunch of people. I've seen a bunch of actors. I've seen a bunch of people. I've seen a bunch of people emoting.
It did seem like that. But one more thing, one more point I'll just add. I thought that Trump was doing actually pretty well with Zelensky, with just Trump and him speaking. But as soon as J.D. Vance stuck his nose
You're
in
right.
the discussion,
He ambushed the whole thing. Yeah,
he did,
he torpedoed the entire the rare earth mineral agreement they were supposed to sign. So
you know what?
I mean,
you're right. And there was a thing, and I was going to point this out, because I said I had watched it 3 times, and I watched Zelensky the whole time, then I watched Trump the whole time, and then I watched J.D. Vance the whole time. And what I noticed was there's a moment where, because J.D. Vance has spent a lot of time with Trump, he knows Trump, so to speak, and he said something that triggered Trump again, which was you
Yeah,
haven't
you're
even
gonna
thanked
feel the
me.
pressure.
You haven't even thanked the president.
Yeah.
You haven't even thanked it. And watch Trump get so triggered, he repeats it over and over again.
Yeah, it's like Trump is being played by his associates there, kind of. I don't know. I think it'd be best if just tell his
Good
team
script,
to
bad acting.
go out, go to the East Room or something. Let him and Zelensky just talk or something. Like
Epic. Okay, thanks for Mike. Thanks for calling, brother.
Yeah, all right, man.
Appreciate.
I'll let you get.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
appreciate
thank you for
appreciate you very
all the
much.
time.
Yeah. So what are you saying in the chat, Epic? What about?
Well, first of all, I appreciate Mike's conversation. I'm glad he called in, and I don't want to scare anybody from calling. Of course, right? I mean, we appreciate everybody who calls in. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
man.
no hard feelings.
No, exactly. We want to hear all points of view.
Exactly.
But you know, so which part should we specifically talk about? I'm saying
the whataboutism, folks.
Oh yeah. Forget about the whataboutism.
What is that?
So when people come back and say, "Well, what about?" Let's journey a little bit, no pun intended, into the history of whataboutism. Whataboutism is a typical.
Just tell me what you mean and don't.
Whataboutism is a Russian disinformation tactic where. Pioneered by Putin, by the way, in his KGB days, where what they do is when something comes up in a political discussion or an economic discussion or any kind of discussion of relevance, when something is brought up that you are doing wrong, right? Then what about this? What about that? It's called whataboutism. So what about Biden? What about Nixon? What about Reagan? What about whatever? The point is to distract and distort the conversation and take it off track, so that you don't deal with the actual thing you're talking about at the time. That's called whataboutism.
Well, where is that? Where has that happened in this conversation?
It happens all the time.
Well, where has it happened in this conversation, though? Why are you bringing it up? Which point?
Well, I'm bringing it up.
Are you asserting that whataboutism
that's not the conversation
is happening?
we're having online in the actual audio discussion. It was something in the chat. So
So I don't know, man. I ain't watching the chat. I'm having a discussion here. I'm not dicking around.
That's what you're bringing up the chat, though. So it's from the chat. So that's not from this discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in the chat too sometimes. I'm Michael Jaka, by the way.
All right, Michael. Hey, man.
Glad to have you, man.
Thanks for calling.
Glad to have you. Glad to listen.
Thanks for calling. So here we are again. Thanks, Hectic.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Take care.
There you go. 718-618-9905 is the number to call if you want to give us a call. Thank you, Hectic. Really appreciate you, brother. It's good to see you. Rock and Rio.
Yes, sir.
We haven't even gotten through we're about halfway through this discussion here.
Yeah, well, I've got some shocking reversals.
I'm sure you do.
From the lab coat. All right, cool. Man.
I've been labbing while you guys have been
right on.
Look at
chatting. So
look at Epic Journeyman, dude. I'm telling you right now, when we go on this break's coming up in about 10 minutes. When we go on that break, you need to go out to the perimeter and make yourself a hot cup of chamomile tea and chill.
I don't have any chamomile tea, but should I over caffeinate or over
have a beer?
I don't know. I have both. I don't know which
all right, old Jimmy's giving you permission. I'm going to drive the rest of the rest of the night, so you don't have to worry about driving. You can go ahead and have yourself a beer. Take it easy, brother. We're gonna.
You can tell I'm pretty passionate about this. So,
I can tell, but I think, like I keep saying, I don't know. We'll see. Let's get through the rest. Can you handle getting through the rest of this video so when we come back we can get to the
I think so.
Listen, here's the thing.
Had I not had this migraine, I would have been a fourth episode in a row without any beer, any kind of anything but water for Friday show.
We've been going through all this.
Today was so bad with the Zelensky thing that I between my migraine, ocular migraine, and this, I just had to indulge because it's so bad.
We've been talking about this.
Epic.
He's
Take
been
a stress pill. Sit down calmly and think about this.
Listen,
right?
Dude.
kind of there.
Listen, you're Siddhartha, and you had to pay the ferryman, and now you've come back, and you're about to become the ferryman, because in the third hour, Rock and Rio, this whole time you've been going, letting people know your particular perspective because of the jobs that you've had and the military service that you've had and your love for America.
Which I've had. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if people appreciate where I'm coming from.
Right. Well, I'm trying to make them appreciate it. So you just calm down. Calm down over there. So Rock and Real is going to come back now because he's been over there the whole time we've been over here. He's been over there. He's been doing the reverse speech on this whole discussion. And so when we come back in the third hour, we'll see exactly what's being said in reverse. And
yeah, there's some obvious hatred going on. Let's put it that way. Between both parties.
There is, and I didn't even detect hate even here in the IntoTheMicrocosm. I see Billy's still here. What's happening, Billy?
Hey, Billy.
Good to see you, dude. All right, here comes...
you went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of...
What does this have to do with Ukraine? Right here. This bothered me, too. It was like, why are you bringing up the campaign, dude? The campaign's over. You're vice president.
Yeah, it bothered me, exactly.
Shut the fuck up. I don't like this. You know what? This J.D. Vance is a heartbeat away from being president, Jack, so you better pay attention to what he says.
Appreciation.
And what he just got done saying when he was over in Europe.
The United States.
It kind of sounds a little bit like what Epic's saying.
America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
This is here. I'm going to back this up, man, because this is a moment. Look at this. Look at this moment here. Hold on. This is a moment. This is like an acting class moment right here. The I know. Here we go. Ready?
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that there,
thank you
accept
to
that,
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
it doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was with
wasn't you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the
Epic. Obama gave him sheets, and Trump gave him Is he talking about
Then he got impeached for not giving it to him because it was already signed by Congress, and he had that extortion call where I need the dirt on Biden. I have a small favor to ask. Right? Yeah, that's what got him impeached. That's what it's all about. It's retribution. It's about him getting back at Zelensky for what he considers is something that wronged him, right? Because he asked for dirt on Biden. He said no, because the javelins are supposed to be coming the $300 million or whatever it was, 280 million, something like that. And then it all goes back to that. This is what this is all about. It's all about the fact that, he feels like he was wronged by the fact that he was impeached because of that first call to Zelensky. He's getting back at him right here. That's what it is.
I know, because he goes off. He goes off in a minute. We're going to have to play some of this when we come back, because we're coming up against the break. It's Revolution Radio. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. It is freeworld.fm. We're all
Jimmy, we do have another caller.
All right, we'll keep that caller on the line, because we're going to a break, man. And caller.
So hang on a second.
We need that sound effect.
Caller.
For the on the reel. Right?
Yeah.
Hang on, caller.
We'll be back. It's Into the Microcosm. It's Revolution Radio.
You let me violate you. You let me desecrate you. You let me penetrate you. You let me complicate you. Help me. I broke apart my insides. Help me. I've got no soul to tell. Help me. The only thing that works for me. Help me get away from myself. I wanna fuck you like an animal. I wanna feel you from the inside. I wanna fuck you like an animal. My whole existence is flawed. You get me closer to God.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.
Are you interested in the paranormal, murder mystery, real natural law? Do you enjoy interviews with amazing guests? Then join Crypt Rick every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Revolution Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crypt Rick's iPhone thinking. Welcome to the Crypt.
It is no secret that the so-called mainstream media is best described as controlled propaganda. Countless news stories are either totally ignored or spun with half-truths, and because of this, essential facts and vital information are often compromised. Join Dr. Ott every Friday night on Studio B at 10 p.m. Eastern and learn why The Story Behind the Story was nominated for a Peabody Award in its second year of producing unparalleled broadcasting excellence in 1997. That is, if you really care about learning the truth.
Do you love topics about history, world events, popular conspiracies, and everything under the sun? while discussing their historical context. Then welcome your host, Trinity, where no topic is off the table, truth is spoken to power, and where your voice can be heard. Here is where you can communicate openly and learn from one another, while respecting our diverse society and figuring out the truth to where we're heading. Join Trinity in a 2-hour roller coaster ride of research, comedy, and interesting content. Made with you in mind, people that matter the most. On Mondays at 12 a.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Central, only on Revolution Radio Studio B. Be a part of a different way to hear radio.
If you're sick of the lies and ready to know thyself, to love thyself, well then tune in to the Loveolution with your hosts, Amy and John Paul, where we speak all about truth, love, and freedom every Tuesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio. And remember, only you can free your mind control. Be a Loveolutionary.
Interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this important broadcasting announcement. Now is the time to explore your greatest potential, embracing truth, health, and wellness while discarding the system and exposing its corruption. Experience true freedom every Saturday night between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from Studio B. It's the Jonathan Wright Show. Find it right here at revolution.radio.
Anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a civil majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look. It's just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live, Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
It's Friday night on the West Coast, Saturday morning on the East Coast. It's hour number 3. It's IntoTheMicrocosm. My name is Jimmy. Batten down the hatches, son. Independent Broadcast Network.
In the howling wind comes the stinging rain. See each other nails into the souls and the chill pain from the firefly, the red orange glow. See the face of fear running scared in the valley below. Pulling the blue sky, pulling the blue sky, pulling the blue, pulling the blue. In the locust wind.
Rock and Rio. We're slapping them down. 1, 2. Are you there, Rodrigo?
I am here.
All right, so we have a caller.
Yes, we have a caller. 330.
330.
And we also have Sergeant Miller, too.
Sergeant Miller, welcome in. 330, go ahead.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Trish from Ohio. How you
Hey,
guys
Trish.
doing tonight?
Good. What's happening?
Trish.
Hey, I tend to agree with you that this was a scripted
Yeah.
show today. And one of the reasons is several reasons. One is J.D. Vance doesn't say anything on camera that hasn't been scripted. He's very quick-witted when he gets a script. But when he's in front of just the average person, like he was at the donut shop, I think it was Pennsylvania, he was asked what kind of donuts he wanted, and he goes, yeah, whatever works. So he's not as bright, but he's a very good actor. Another part, I tend to agree with the previous caller. He was trying to say, when he was talking about when this kicked off 2 years ago, he was trying to take it back to 2014. And I know what he was talking about. I read the papers back then. I know what he was getting at about the Ukrainians that spoke Russian being attacked, and it was pretty bad. And there was a long time that they wanted Putin to step in, but he didn't. At any rate, when this kicked off about, 2 years ago now, 3 years ago, when this kicked off and Putin
Third anniversary,
invaded,
February 22nd. Yep.
when this kicked off, everybody thought that, for some reason, that Russia was going to lose. That was the narrative that was given to the TV stations and whatnot. But anybody that actually follows world politics, and I don't myself, a little bit here and there, the headlines, I'm not trying to say that I do not. I follow the headlines here and there. But I was following two gentlemen, an Englishman that is an economist, I believe, and knows quite a bit about world politics. And he was very nervous about it. And everything that he said on the first week came true. He said this is when Biden kicked Putin out of I'll just call it the World Bank. There's a particular name for it. I don't recall exactly what it is, but it's what the governments of the world, they all exchange their money through. So we'll just call it the World Bank. When
Bank of
we're buying
Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of International Settlements,
the SWIFT system. It's called the SWIFT system. Yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah, so the SWIFT system is what enables transactions to happen globally, and they got kicked off. That's correct. Go ahead. Sorry.
And this man said when that he goes, that's going to hurt America. That's going to hurt us a lot. He goes, that's going to hurt us, and that's going to hurt America a lot more than it's ever going to hurt Russia. And he was right. He was absolutely right. I mean, I had no idea because I didn't know anything. I'm not that deep into it, but that man was right.
Well, I have to interject just for a moment.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why do you mean he's
into
correct,
the microcosm, or is this the epic show? Can I just talk and then I'll get off the phone and you can go at it for the rest of the hour?
It's a good appropriate point to ask this question. Is all I'm saying. Why do you think he was correct there? Is all. That's all I'm asking. Like, what makes you think that he was correct? Is the question. What happened? What happened to make you think it was correct?
Absolutely nothing happened to Russia. In fact, the ruble went up, or if that's what they call it, the ruble, it actually went up in value. Yeah. They were trading in gold, and and Putin made people, other countries, if you want to deal with us, you're going to have to buy our ruble to do so, or we'll take gold. See, right. I remember more than yesterday.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, and that's exactly what happened.
That didn't happen,
and nothing happened to Russia. Okay, even And so the point I'm going to make is this. You're absolutely right, Jimmy. The whole thing was a bullshit show today. And why was that? Because Trump has been talking to Putin the whole time. And you know who owns all the cards? Putin.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Well,
Putin's
so
war, and
let me
it
ask
has
you this
since the
question.
beginning.
Sorry, let me ask you this
I'm
question.
not answering any of your
No,
questions,
okay, you
dude.
don't
I'm
have
just
to
making
answer.
a
I'm gonna let.
commentary, and then you can roll with it, okay?
I will.
You've
Okay,
had the whole
but
show. Can somebody fucking talk other than you? Okay, it's called the Microcosm, not the Epic Show.
but
Thank
I
you.
co-host the show, so I
thanks.
do have an interjection when
You're
possible.
everything, dude. You're everything. We know. You're everything, and you know everything.
I'm just
You're
asking
everything,
what.
and you know everything. We know. We all
No,
bow
I'm
down.
not a narcissist like Trump is. What I'm asking is, why do you think that's true though? Like, what is it about that? What part of that? Like, do you think that he somehow won? Putin won, and why is that a good thing? I guess that's my question. Why is it a good thing for Putin to win? That's my question. Let's distill it to that.
She's saying,
why is it a good thing for Putin to win? Why is it good for Putin to win? How does that benefit us?
And so, like I was saying, Putin holds all the cards to this. Trump knows that. So the show
But that's bad for us,
hey,
right?
we are.
Let her talk, man. Dude.
Indeed. Okay,
let
sorry.
her talk.
Just that question. I want that question answered. Why is it good for us? That's my question. So at the end of it, please resolve that. Thank you.
Trump knows he holds all the that Putin holds all the cards. What you call it, the midget, the cokehead homosexual, whatever his name is today, he even admitted, he's admitted it many a times, when Trump says it would have been over in 2 weeks. Zelensky says, yeah, I've heard Putin say 3 days. You're correct. It would have been over in 3 days. Okay, but they didn't want it over in 3 days. The objective was to kill as many white Christians because all the Jews took the first train out of there on day one. And that's what they've been doing. So they've cleaned out the country of all the young white Christian Ukrainians, what's left of them. There's not many left. They're pulling old men and boys off the street and putting guns in women's hands. The bottom line is Putin's going to do whatever he's going to do. That was prearranged before 2 years ago. It was prearranged when they were killing people in 2014 because Putin could have stepped in then and done something, but he bided his time. All these world governments work together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for the benefit of any of the people.
No.
It's always about three things:
Mm-hmm.
depopulation, transfer of wealth, and demoralizing the people. Right now, Trump and company is not concerned about Ukraine. They've got the boys cleaned out of there. They're going to get what they want. He's already talked to Putin. We want this, we want that. And Putin said, I don't think so. And Putin's going to possibly take over all of Ukraine. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows what he's going to do. But he's not backing down.
No.
Okay? So we'll see what happens with Ukraine. Trump wants nothing to do. As he said, it'd be over within the first 24 hours. More bullshit that he said, but okay. Zelensky is a puppet. He's not a world leader, okay? Somebody's feeding him shit. He's a cokehead. I mean, it's obvious. He's an actor and a cokehead. He was installed in there, okay? And he's not very good at it, okay? He's enjoying his coke way too much. The only reason why he hasn't taken a bullet to the head is because of his heritage, and that ain't Ukrainian, okay? So what Trump's sights are, we're looking forward, excuse me, he's got bigger fish to fry. America's getting her finances in order. We got Dodge. We're cleaning up our finances. We got to get our finances in order, America, because we got a big party coming up in 2026, the big 250, okay? So we got to get ready for that because, you know, President Trump's going to be running that show with his big top hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we got to get our finances in order because we got a lot of building to do over in, what are they calling it? Gazalaga? Okay. It's going to cost us a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So y'all best be getting back to fucking work and paying them taxes.
Yeah.
Because we got to be fixing up Gaza.
33 and a
Gazans.
third.
And not for the Christians. Everybody's worried about the Gazans and the Muslims, but I'll tell you fucking what. Since 1948, there's not less Muslims in the Middle East, but there's a whole lot less Christians in the Middle East. I guess people didn't realize that's kind of where Christianity started. Well, you don't have to worry about that because they're almost all gone now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all gone in Ukraine, too. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thanks for calling.
Y'all have a great evening. And I'm enjoying the microcosm tonight.
Hey.
Rio, why don't you talk up more? I really like hearing your voice, but
I know.
You know, you talk like 2 seconds, and then I get the spittering and sputtering and the interrupting, and I'm getting tired of listening to it. I don't listen to the show live anymore. I listen to it the day after, so I can fast forward to the histrionic bullshit. Have a good night, guys. Love ya.
Well, glad you called, but I think you're severely misguided.
Nobody.
So that's just my opinion. I'm just saying.
Hang on
I mean, if you can't say why,
hey,
it's
hang
okay
on.
for Russia to win.
Dude,
then,
hang on. I'm gonna
then
hang.
You are way off the
Hang
spectrum.
on. Billy's saying he sent a link for him to call in. I didn't get a message, and if you sent it, I didn't get a message if you sent it.
Well, we can just invite him, right? We got him on our link, right? So we can do that.
Anyways,
but,
we've been joined,
I'm not
joined by
to
Sergeant
caller.
Miller.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know why she didn't answer the question. The question is, and the question I asked was, and I still ask that question: why is it good for Russia to win? It's not good for Russia to win. Who's that benefit? It benefits Russia. It doesn't benefit us. It doesn't benefit our allies. It doesn't benefit anybody but Russia. Why is that okay? It's not okay. And just because Tucker Carlson went to Russia and thought the bread looked cool doesn't make it okay. Are you seriously on that spectrum? Anybody in this chat listening right now, if you're on that spectrum where Tucker Carlson thought it looked cool.
We've been joined by Sergeant Miller. Sergeant Miller, welcome into the microcosm. Sergeant Miller, you there, brother? I don't hear you. Did I do something? Rio, do you hear me? Rio, do you hear me? Rio's not there. Does anybody hear me? Because I don't hear anything anymore. Anybody there? You guys hear me? I don't hear anything. Where's everybody else? Seriously, I don't. Yeah, you guys hear me. They hear me over here, so everything seems to be working. Not sure why I can't hear anybody else on the call. Rio, are you there? Journeyman, are you there? Anybody here? 718-618-9905 is the number to call, I think. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe I'll hang up and rejoin the call. So I just hung up. Now I'll try to rejoin the call. You guys hear me? In here? I don't hear anybody. Maybe there's something else is going on here. No, I don't hear that either. All right, there we go.
All it took was you two.
All right,
I
there
can
we
hear
go.
you too.
All right,
Can you hear
listen.
me too?
We've been
All
joined
right,
by
cool.
Sergeant Miller. Sergeant Miller. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes, you can hear me now, Jamie?
Yeah, we can. I'm sorry. So sorry about
We
that.
can hear you now, man. Glad to hear
All
you
right.
aboard.
All right.
Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead. So you wanted to jump in now, Sergeant Miller. You served your country, didn't you? So
Yes.
you love America. You love your country. Now, every journeyman has been putting forward his opinion. Now, was there something that you were calling specifically, or just wanted to talk a little bit about?
I just wanted to hang out and bring up other variables, that led up to the bullshit we in.
Yeah, well, jump in, man, because I know you're well versed on a lot of this has been going on. I mean, you've been doing your show now on Sunday nights ever since the mechanic passed, but you've been involved in this conversation since this whole thing started. So, jump in, man. Just tell us what you think, brother.
Well, I mean, I try not to be so biased or keep the pendulum one way or the other, because I understand Republicans and Democrats, they're one party.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get that understood. So once you understand that, you'll see all they're doing is playing good cop, bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. And who's benefiting? The board of directors, which is your Congress, your Senate, and your House. They're the board of directors in a company called the United States Incorporated. So once you have those things understood, then you have a foundation to look at these global conflicts we've been going through. Not just recently, it's always been a build-up. So when I look at the news, I try to put context of what happened previously. I try my best to do that. And I also try to put in secret societies and their foundations and what's going on. So that's what I do with, like, Trump. Trump is ancient Knights Templar. Pete Hegseth, during his hearings, there was questioning him about his tattoos, which is a Knights Templar tattoo. He has the cross with the
Temple
four
cross. That's right.
Yes, the Temple cross. And he also has the Latin phrase, what is it, de Gaudio, which is God will. So if you look at the movie Kingdom of Heaven, you'll see when the Catholics and Christians starting the Crusades against Saladin, you always see them say it's God's will. So now we have a foundation to understand why Trump did what he did his first term of bringing the embassy to Jerusalem. Why is so much investment in Jerusalem? Because of what? They're trying to build up the temple, correct? The red heifer, you get involved in all of that. So
I think that's correct. I mean, so do you think also that the logical end is, if you follow the Bible about this, right, that he will declare himself God in the temple, right? In the rebuilt temple, he will declare himself God, because that's what the Antichrist does.
Does he have the characteristics to do that?
But actually, I don't think he does. Actually, I don't think he's smart enough. I don't mean that to insult him and our listeners. I just mean, like, he's like the lawless one from Second Thessalonians. I thought that. John Brisson thinks that. I mean, that's why I think about it. But that's just my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. But yeah, it's more likely to be somebody like Peter Thiel or Elon Musk. Somebody has the credentials, basically. Beyond that, maybe not them at all. Maybe it's somebody we don't see yet, right? We probably don't. I mean, I don't think anybody really fits the if you have a checklist, nobody fits them all, right? But the person who gets it started to put the third temple there and to make it happen is definitely Trump. It is. And that does fit with the lawless one from Second Thessalonians. I mean, this is my reading of it. I mean, it's just my reading, right? But it's not. I'm not alone in it. I mean, there's other people who think that too. So yeah, I don't know. But that's a Christian perspective, right? So maybe if you look at it from another perspective, it's not. If you're Hindu or if you're Muslim or if you're from Buddhist philosophy, you're not going to see that at all. And maybe we're just the ones who are enchanted by that particular interpretation, right? So there's always that. But I think that it does really play into this idea. Second Thessalonians is interesting because it talks about the grand delusion. It says that people should believe a lie. It talks about people being more interested in self-service in themselves than what's going on around them, and it talks about all these things.
So Rio's got this. He's been working on this reverse speech. Now we've been joined by Billy Ray Valentine. Billy Ray, we're about to get into this reverse speech, and you're welcome to come on. But I wanted to add you because I want you to come on. But I also want you to know that he's going to do this reverse speech thing right now. So we got about 30 minutes left of the show.
What's up, Billy?
What's up, bro?
All right, so you guys ready for this?
Yeah, so we still.
Are you ready for this?
We still
Yeah.
we still had some chunk left of this other piece going forward towards the end of this discussion. Did you want to finish that, or do you want to jump right straight into the reverse speech?
Well, the reverse I have is pretty much on the chunk that we just played, where the discussion started getting heated about the ocean and
okay, go ahead.
that kind of stuff. So
go ahead.
The first part here is Zelensky says, "Roll with us. We know we suck at fighting, or we know we suck fight." So, he's aware that he needs America's help to win if he's going to do anything, because he knows he sucks. All right, so let me roll that.
All right, let it rip.
With what's the no of so quick, so us and stuff us.
Because we know we suck fight.
I did hear that, and I wasn't even ready for it. Can you play it again, and can you slow it down a bit?
Yep.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
Of course, we want to stop the war, and then backwards he says, "We know we suck fight." So it's actually congruent too, right? We want to stop the war because we suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
Roll with what's the no of so quick, so us.
Right. So then Trump, he says, "I'm naming the alphas. They live with us. The caster he knows the error of the season. They believe it."
What?
Naming the alphas, they live with us.
Right. Naming the alphas, they live with us. And it says, the caster he knows the error of the season. They believe it. Right. So, Trump's talking his dark MAGA black magic stuff there.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Can you repeat what it is? It sounded interesting. Go ahead and repeat what it said.
All right. It says, naming the alphas.
Uh-huh.
They live with us. Right. He says the caster, and Trump has brought up the caster.
The caster. That's the part I wanted to hear again.
Yeah. The caster he knows now the error of the season. They believe it. And then Zelensky over here, he says, Satan, dear Satanist, who morphed the drug? Thank your snake.
What?
Right. Yes. Let me play that. Right. Thank your snake.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
He said snake twice. What does he say about
No,
this?
he says, say, dear Satanist, who morphed your drug? Thank your snake. Right? Donald Trump is the snake.
What was that sound?
I don't know. That was weird.
Hey, just want to let everybody know Skype is going away in May. It's going to go. It's going to be gone. Okay, go ahead.
I saw that. And then it says, then Trump says, here weighing it, hear the warning. Men are all sick, right? So now Zelensky says, Trump's talking about the caster and the air of the season. Zelensky says, "Dear Satanist, who morphed the drug? Thank your snake," right? Which Donald Trump and the snake thing keep coming up, and his favorite poem, "The Snake." And then Trump says, "Here weighing it, hear the warning. Men are all sick."
It was Nick Irvine had been all sick.
Right. So, I don't know if that means there's another 2020 event coming. It doesn't bode well. So the next part of this is, where the discussion is a little bit more heated. Trump says, "You're a villain. Now men believe it." You're a villain. Now men believe it. And then Zelensky, the next thing he says over here is "Old man, you deserve to die. Nearly zero want you." So, let me play that. "Old man, you deserve to die. Nearly zero want you there."
Nearly zero want you there.
Right? And it's a little hard because they're both talking over each other here.
Yeah.
And then Zelensky says again, "Seems to me zero want you there."
Seems to me zero want you.
Right. And then Zelensky says, "Dark MAGA demon." Right. And then Trump, while in this mix over top of all this, he says to Zelensky, "Buddy, you're a terror with a Nazi salute."
What?
Yeah. Listen to this. "Buddy, you're a terror with a Nazi salute." So, obvious love between the two brothers there. And then Zelensky says, in this part here, he says, he says, "Sell Mark, sell Mark, sell Mark, Jewish family." He says, "State belief," which I think he means I'm stating my belief, right? "State belief, Florida, annually flooding it. The show is on. Fire it up, the illusion of it." He says, "Give them the 5 cents to shave the dollar for Stalin."
What?
Yep. So I think that has to do with like the FEMA coming in and buying up the land and all that stuff. Like it's been a thing in other places. And, it'd be interesting to see if the next thing they do is a flood in Florida. Obviously there was a hurricane not that long ago where there was some of that going on, but, see if it happens again kind of thing. Right. So, here's the sell Mark.
What was that sound? I heard it again.
I don't know.
It's like a buzzing sound.
Yeah. I've heard it a couple times.
Was that somebody? Oh, I forgot you were there, Sergeant Miller. I'm sorry. I completely forgot you were there. Sorry about that, Sergeant Miller. Okay, go ahead, Rocker. Did you want to jump in, Sergeant Miller, about something he's saying?
Oh, Sergeant Miller just rejoined.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Did you want to jump in on something that Rios brought to the table on this reverse speech?
No, it's very interesting, especially the snake.
Yeah.
Trump had that speech about the snake and the frog.
Yeah, the poem.
Yeah,
the poem about the snake. And it's not the first time I've heard that reference to Trump as the snake, right?
And isn't it the year of the snake? The year of the dragon or something. What is it? The year of the snake or the dragon? I don't know. It's a red.
It's a Chinese dragon. Yeah. It's dragon and snake is interchangeable.
Yeah, to them it is. Yeah, serpent, snake, dragon.
I'm year of the dragon though. It's every 12 years. I missed it, so it's
what is it?
10 years or something.
Is it the year of the snake or the dragon right now?
It's the year of the
it'd
snake.
be snake, not dragon.
the snake, right? Okay, so he's with the snake in the poem, right?
Mhm.
And now he just said, what did he just say about the snake? He's shaking the snake.
Yeah.
Don't shake
maybe.
the snake. All right, go ahead. Listen. Go ahead. Don't shake the snake, Rio. Tell us what he said about the snake.
All right, so here's the it's the cell mark. Right, so he says cell mark 3 times, Jewish family. And then he says state belief, Florida annually flooding it. The show is on. Fire it up, the illusion of it.
State belief, Florida annually flooding it.
Right, so that's the Florida annually flooding it.
Show is on, fire it up, illusion of it.
Show is on. Fire it up, the illusion of it. It says
the show is on. Fire up the illusion of it.
Yeah, and well, this part here is interesting because this is Zelensky says all will suffer. You'll hear the reporter who asked him the question say mercy in the middle of it. It says give them the 5 cents to shave the dollar for Stalin.
Oh, what's so first? You give me my frat cells and chef. What's all that?
So, the forward of that.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems.
Right. So during the war, everybody has problems. And he's going to give them the 5 cents to shave the dollar for Stalin. So, but the annual flooding of Florida is kind of something that's got, piqued my interest because it has. It's right. It's been 3 years in a row now where the hurricanes have whacked Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're still suffering right now.
Yep. And the whole FEMA situation is they give you $400 to buy out your land or whatever.
Well, no, they give you $700 up front, and then you have to file, and then it's benefits after that. Yeah.
And they did the same. They're doing the same thing in Los Angeles. They did the same thing in Lahaina, right? They gave them the little stipend and tried to take the land away.
They didn't take the land away. It's just you have to sign up, right? And they give you free food and all that stuff, and then it just takes forever. That's
the whole scam with that FEMA money though is that if you don't pay it back, right? It's a loan. If you don't pay it back, they take the land from you for what the.
I didn't see that. I mean, I'm just telling you, I didn't see that. So my coworker, he's getting his house rebuilt finally now. It took this we're a year and a half out, right? This is August, not last year. It's been a while. So now we're just finally starting to get rebuilt. So it takes forever.
I got to see a man about a horse. I'll be right back.
Yeah. It's slow. that's. I'm not knocking the government response overall. It's just it takes for frickin' ever. We suffered for a long time while we're waiting, right? But it does come through, So, I mean, I can't hate on it for not coming through. It does come through. It's just that it takes for frickin' ever, And so the people in Asheville and all stuff, same thing. It takes forever to get their $700 to get money to live in a hotel or something for a couple months, and then eventually it comes through, and But it's not going to come. It's not going to come through anymore.
If you've lost everything, right? You've lost all your property, your land, your house, your furniture, everything you have. Maybe not your car if you got away.
No.
$750. $750 is worthless, right?
Yeah,
I mean, what's it last you? A week? 2 weeks maybe. That's if you got a family.
Yeah, it's just like this is to get clothes and get food, and it's like the initial thing to get you going. Then you have to go sign up for it, and because it's government, it freaking takes forever. And these people don't have their. I can tell you experience from here in Hawaii, right? So the issue is that those people have to go get their ID, right? But they don't have their ID because it burned down. Their house burned down, right? Same with Asheville and all those things. So because of that, there's this whole hiccup, But it's just because it's government slow, right? But once it gets rolling, it's okay. It just takes for freaking ever, Those houses are getting rebuilt. They are, and they're going to get rebuilt in Nashville too. And, well, maybe they're not. I don't know because they're firing all the people who would do it. That's what's so effed up about this. But it does look to me like what I can see is that the government is incredibly slow on getting things started, but they do follow through, or used to follow through generally, right? So those people got $750. I know a lot of them, and they lost their houses, and they ended up staying in hotels. And they paid for FEMA did pay for the hotels, right? They had to stay in hotels, and a lot of my coworkers, they got to go stay there. It got paid for, right? They didn't have to pay it out of their pocket. They got paid for, right? And it's getting paid for the people in Asheville too. And the people are saying it isn't, are lying. It's not true, or they didn't apply for it. One of the two, right? But the fact is, it is slow because it's government. It just is, right? And if you're going to take government workers and fire them all, then we're not going to have that either. So now next time it happens, those people are going to wait forever, maybe forever, right?
But wasn't FEMA funding some of these immigrants in New York and Chicago in hotels?
That's not
also
true, though. That's not true. That hotel in New York. So the hotel in New York that they're talking about, not the residency, I forget the name of it. That was allocated to be a waypoint, right, for people. Because you got to remember, these people aren't just like people that caught sneaking in from the border trying to
What
do
happened?
wrong.
What happened while I was gone?
There's a
man?
lot of people were people that were trying to claim asylum, right, because they're being killed and murdered.
but there's a process of asylum already. You just got to go to your embassy.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that those hotels you're talking about were paid for by not FEMA necessarily, but it's under FEMA management and an agency. It is under the agency, right? So what happens is those people they come there and have to be processed. Some of those people don't deserve to be there. Sure, that's true, absolutely.
Right.
But some of them do, and so you have to have the people there to process them. And now you're firing the people to process them. I mean, the whole thing is effed up. Because there are people that get sent back to Haiti.
Man, this is
there are people that go back to Venezuela.
This is a wrecking.
There are people that go back to Nicaragua and kill when they go back.
This is a
they deserve to have
wrecking
asylum.
ball
Now they're
operation,
because you
dude.
sent them back. Not you, but you know.
Dude, this is a wrecking ball operation. Has been from fucking day one. And man, if you don't recognize that in like 10 years ago, then I don't know what to tell you. This is just the current script that's going on right now. And believe me, there's nothing going on that's not already figured out and known. I mean,
so I want to address some people in chat who are talking about FEMA who don't know it personally. I was fucking here when the fire burned down Lahaina. I was fucking in the goddamn flames. And if you would have talked to me about it, you better come here and talk to me in person, because I'm telling you what I saw, and you don't know what the fuck you were talking about. Okay, I'm telling you straight up right now. Don't.
Well, I can tell you
about this.
I was one of the first boots on the ground for Hurricane Katrina, so I know
Horrible
FEMA
situation. Yeah, horrible situation.
I know. I'm just being honest. You know, I know FEMA. That's when I learned of Rex.
Yes, they did. Yep.
I learned of Rex 84. Rex 84, King Alfred's plan. That's what's going on. Whenever they rebuild New Orleans with these townhouses, it looked like San Francisco. But that was the contractors. That's why all this USAID information coming out. These were contractors from all of these senators, their cousins, their best friends, their high school classmates that rebuilt these communities with the funding from FEMA. That's how they get the first dibs. And John Perkins wrote a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's the same program.
Mm-hmm. You're so right. You are so right, Sergeant Miller. My name's Jimmy. I am the ringmaster of this 3-ring circus called Into the Microcosm.
I drink alone, yeah, with nobody else. I drink alone, yeah, with nobody else. Yeah, you know what I do.
Now, so far, he hasn't said what he prefers to drink when he drinks alone. Now, I'm going to drink me some chamomile tea after I get off the air because I'm all worked up. Epic's got me all worked up. Everybody, you guys are going off the rails, man. Well, it's hard to sit and not say anything with all this going on, but I just, I figured I'd just lean back and just let you guys, run your course, your paths, and I mean, I'm still where I've always been on the whole thing. I mean, obviously, when the AI wrote this script, it sensed the personality traits of the population at this moment in time, and it decided exactly what it could do to inflame people. And what's funny,
it seems to have done its job well.
no shit, man, because what's really funny is earlier I was talking to somebody, and I wasn't even saying anything. I was just saying something about Trump saying you're going to start World War III. And he was yelling about that. And I was just saying something about that. And all of a sudden, I became like I'm a Trump cheerleader. Just because I said something that, was fucking crazy, man. And the person went berserker. And they were raising their fucking voice at me and shit. And I was like, man, I'm not in an argument with you about anything. I didn't say anything. Just mentioning something. I'm American. I don't want World War III. So somebody yelling at a guy saying, don't start World War III, I'm sorry if that resonates with me, man.
Yeah.
But I resonated with a lot of people, which I was trying to say earlier with Epic, is that regardless of what someone thinks, Americans, there's a lot of Americans that are going to, resonate behind this shit. The script that it is.
I don't know, man. 81% of the American public, according to the last poll, do not trust Vladimir Putin. So that's an 81 percentile group of people who think what just happened today was wrong.
I know.
I mean,
and
they ambushed Zelensky.
You know what's
they
funny?
ambushed that guy.
You know what's funny, though, is that what happened there is exactly what people that don't like Trump don't like. Is that they think that he's a bully kind of thing.
Well, he's ignoramus. He's more than bully. He's stupid.
What I'm just saying, just on the superficial level, people that hate, they hate because he's a bully and this and that, right? So,
well, let's get Billy Ray's opinion on this.
Where is he?
Hey, Billy Ray, are you out here?
He's in here. He's out. He's in.
Oh, great. Hi, Billy Ray.
Is he back now?
Skype is not cooperating with me very well. So,
dude, I had to reboot my computer twice to get Skype. Billy, it's not just you. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah, there was an update.
Now,
I didn't get your so I didn't get any of your messages. The only reason I saw it is because you said something in here.
You're good. People were asking me to call in, and that shit wasn't working. So I figured I'd just I'd come in this way or whatever. Real quick too, just to lend a little hand to Epic, man. I think Epic is 100% on the ball with all of this. I
don't think Epic needs a hand, dude. I think he's been handling himself pretty good tonight.
Epic,
okay, but I appreciate the support.
Yeah,
exactly. No, there's not a lot of us out here anymore. So when I hear, he's catching some slack in the chat. I would implore everybody to listen, and even if you disagree, just do a little bit of research into what it is that he's saying. You may still disagree with it. Like Jimmy said, Jimmy was like, there are people that resonate with this. I don't get it personally. But there are people that resonate. You're going to start World War III. I took it as, it's a threat. Not necessarily telling Zelensky he's going to start World War III.
Well, it was because Europe was before Trump was getting in there. Back a ways back, Europe was mobilizing to fucking go in there. That's why.
To go in where?
To go into Ukraine over Ukraine. There NATO countries were mobilizing, dude.
Well,
go
I
in
mean,
there.
they kind of have to mobilize at this point with the way Trump is alienating the entire world. And that's part of
No,
what
America
I think
included, though. When Biden was in office, when they were mobilizing to go in there, they were getting ready to go in there. Things weren't going to go the way they are right now. For some reason, everything went on hold, and I don't know what the reason why everything all of a sudden went on hold. Because at any given moment during this war, they could have took out the infrastructure in Ukraine. There could have been no electricity, no water anywhere. It's in certain places, not the whole
I can
country.
counter that Ukraine has never struck the infrastructure of Russia, and
they haven't. I'm not talking about
They could have sent their
Ukraine.
drones to attack the electricity.
Listen to me,
They could have
man.
done the same thing Russia does to them, and they haven't. They could.
Hey, I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm saying Russia could have took out Ukraine's infrastructure, and that would have
They
been
try
it.
all the time.
But they didn't, and it's not the whole country. It's only certain places in the country. And I work
What
with
do you mean? They try every day. 200 and some odd drones
I work
yesterday.
with a
Every
guy
day.
from Ukraine. I work with a guy from Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. Well,
No,
my wife
I
was from
work
Ukraine.
with a guy
Yeah.
from Ukraine. I work with a guy. You want me to get him? I'll get him to come on here.
Sure. I'm just telling you, like they attack Ukraine all the time. They
They
attack the
attack
infrastructure all the
Ukraine
time.
in certain areas.
No, they attack the infrastructure, the schools, the rails, everything all the time. They make it miserable for the people there. They attack the people, not the military. Where Ukraine attacks they go after the economic.
They could have
driver,
blacked out that country in
oil.
24
They don't
hours.
go after-
They could have blacked it
They
out.
don't go after
Gone.
electricity.
Everything.
But
But
they
you
do
know,
it all the time. It's because they have anti-aircraft missiles and stuff that we provided.
I'm not on Putin. Listen to me. I'm not on
Germans and stuff
Putin's
did as
side,
well.
dude. Listen, I'm not on Putin's side. What I'm
hope
saying is, I don't want World War III. Is what I'm saying. And I don't think anybody else does. I don't think Billy does. I don't think you do.
No.
No.
I will say
I think it's coming.
France,
No
France
shit.
has said they'll put troops there. France is the only country out of the NATO bloc who said they will put troops into Ukraine or are thinking about it. That's true. They did. They have now. They were saying it's just advisors, like the Mirage aircraft and technicians and stuff like that. But they did. Now, personally, I think we should do like the Flying Tigers. We did with China back prior to World War II. We should send our own pilots over there, F-18s, A-10s, all that stuff, and make a force over there for people who volunteer for it. Absolutely, that's what we should do. That's what we should do. I mean, that's how we beat back the Russians and give them the air support they need. But if we don't do that, then okay, we're going to suffer the consequences later. I mean, I don't understand why people have a hard time realizing this is democracy and Russia isn't. And if Russia wins, we all lose. I mean, this is exactly Nazi Germany is equivalent to Russia invading Ukraine. It's like Nazi Germany invading Poland, and Russia will invade Poland. Putin has said he wants to reconstitute the Soviet Union, so he's going to go after Poland. He's going to go after the Baltic states. He's going to do all those things. He wrote it down. You guys can all read it online. It's there. He wrote it down. Okay, so I mean, I don't know why people have a hard time realizing that he's not giving up. I mean, every inch we give him, he's going to take them out.
People want to believe what they want to believe at this point, Epic. And I think, you and I have been through it whenever I do broadcast. I don't even want to do broadcasting anymore. I haven't done America Unplugged in quite some time. I haven't done the Infinite Fringe in a bit. Like, I don't want to do it. Because people want to believe what they want to believe, regardless of the evidence that's placed in front of them. The amount of disinformation that we've been inundated with is ridiculous, right? I've never seen anything like it, and it worked. I didn't think it would work to this degree, but it absolutely has. And we are staring the New World Order right in the face. We've been talking about this for so long.
I know.
And now that it's here, people don't want to recognize it, or they're going along with it. And that's what I don't understand.
They're going to
as long as their phone gives them something to scroll up and down. That's all it is, dude.
It's such a hard
distraction.
time.
They're going to beg
figure
for
out
it.
how we got here, and to the point that literally we are siding with North Korea, and people are for it. you know, that there's all this disinformation that's coming out of what happened with USAID and how much Doge is saving. All of it is bullshit, but people want to believe it. And I don't know how to combat that, to the point that I'm like, you know what? Why am I talking? Why? You know, I don't know anymore. And it's just
This thing is gonna
such
end.
a serious operation.
This
It's
thing is
incredible.
gonna end in a way that people are not gonna like, man. I mean, because the thing is that everything that everyone's cheering on right now is going to be the very thing that's going to be turned around on the very people that are cheering it on. And when it gets turned around, it's not going to feel so good.
You're absolutely right.
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
you're 100% right. That's exactly where it's going. And here's the thing with people. It's not, you know, I'm included in this, but a lot of the audience that we listen to, until it knocks on your door, you don't think it exists. You don't think it's real, or you don't care. Then when it knocks on your door, then you start caring. It's coming. If it hasn't already, it's coming. Please get your affairs together. Start building a nest egg. If nothing ever happens, great. That means you have extra food and extra money and a bag of gold somewhere. But shit's gonna hit. It's already hit the fan.
Yeah. Well, we were
So-
talking about it earlier because, I mean, Epic Journeyman's disgruntled about it, and he loves his country, and he feels a certain way about it, and he's feeling like he's been betrayed, and there's a lot of people in these agencies that are getting fired, and there's a lot of people, government employees, that are being actively solicited by these very governments that you guys are talking about. China, Russia are all trying to recruit some of these people that are disgruntled employees that are getting fired. Listen, man, we got to go. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific, Chilluminati. It's Into the Microcosm. We've enjoyed the show tonight. Thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks for calling. Billy, thanks for stopping by. Sergeant Miller. Sunday
All
nights, Sergeant Miller's Sunday nights, Studio A. What time's your show, Sergeant Miller?
1 a.m. Central, Sunday night.
Right
First
on.
formation.
Right on, brother. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Great show, great show.
All right, we can see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for coming, Bill.
Soon that will be gone. Oh, I will stand arms outstretched, pretend I'm free to roam. Oh, I will make my way through one more day. Difference does it make? How much difference does it make? I will hold the candle till it burns up my.
All right, Revolution Radio's gone. We're still on Independent Broadcast Network. Rio, we still on Free World?
Yes.
For what, another, what? That's it, eh?
1 minute.
All right. There goes Independent Broadcast Network. All right. Hey, thanks everybody for being here. Hang on a second. Let me kill this shit. Here we go. All right, there they go. Pearl Jam. All right, hey Natalie, what's happening? Good to see you, Wanda. What's up, Michael? Good to see you, Amber. Woohoo! Matt, Derek, Cac, Polynation, Karen, Brent, Martin, still alive. Right on. Give me 5. He's still alive. Nigel. What's happening? Hey, Ronan. What's going on, man? Matt. Everybody. Really appreciate you guys all. Lonesome George of the Jungle. Exactly. The man with the yellow hat. Are you guys still here?
Yes.
Oh,
We're here.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific. You're welcome to join us, Billy. If you want to pop in tomorrow, we'll be here.
Buddy, absolutely, man.
All
Miss
right.
you guys.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll talk too, because there's shit going on.
Yeah, man, we have to do that.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to head on out?
Are we still on YouTube? I still see it.
Yeah, we're still
I
on
can't tell.
YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
We're about to leave YouTube though, like right now. You ready to go?
Oh, sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean,
Thanks,
the thing
Finger
is,
Man.
like, I don't know if people realize that, like, when I'm passionate like that, it's from the heart. It's true. I mean it. You know.
And
So
that's if I may, real quick. I think it's a valid and legit reaction to what we're going through. And
It's
the
real.
fact that more people aren't acting like that is what's scaring me.
No, it's
be-
real, man. Appreciate you, Epic. Appreciate your opinion too. All right, you guys ready? Let's go.
I think it's.